What up, peeps? Welcome to the thekisscapadespodcast. I'm your host, John Telewa, aka the Kiss Bandit. And in this show, we explore the key elements that shape our fulfilling existence, from health and well-being to financial success, meaningful relationships, and the pursuit of happiness. We cover it all. Our guests include experts, professionals, and everyday individuals who have remarkable stories to tell. Tune in to learn practical tips, gain valuable insights, and discover strategies for personal growth and transformation. Whether you're seeking to improve your health, build your wealth, enhance relationships, or find lasting happiness, we got you covered. Welcome to today's episode. Another very special guest. It's been a long time coming, but finally.
One kiss later.
Oh yeah, by the way, oh shit. How long ago was that?
Probably like when I was 19, so maybe close to 10 years.
You don't have to tell us your age, you know that.
Like, I know, but
You
like,
don't
I'm
have a
thinking about the
problem with
time.
that?
No, I don't have a problem with that.
Okay, I respect that. So that was 10 years ago.
That was probably 10 years ago.
But we used to bump into each other.
All the time.
Okay, in fact, before we get into that, hold on. Just tell the people your name, what you do, and then we just get straight to it.
All right. My name is Mbatha. I'm a radio and TV presenter. I've been doing this for 6 years. I've known kids for a hot minute. John.
Yeah.
It's always so weird when I'm
Any
thinking
name,
someone.
you can use any name. Kiss
Yeah.
Bandit, Kiss, John Telewa, John.
I've known Kiss Bandit for a few years. We've been bumping into each other, but like this is the first time we've actually like just sat down, the two of us.
We've never.
And
that's crazy.
right?
So imagine if I didn't have a podcast.
Would have probably died off like that. There's so many people out there who have not seen. I'm so sorry, guys. Maybe create a podcast.
Yeah, no, but I think also for me, just the podcast lets me connect with people in a different way. Because even at times we forget that, yes, you might have friends at times, but you never actually get to sit down and have those
True.
real conversations.
Especially now that
It's fake conversations,
Yeah. It's always nice to come and meet in person. Like we have all these phones, but we're so disconnected. So it's nice when you have the one-on-one, you look into each other's eyes and actually see real emotion.
But I've always wanted to feature you on the podcast, but I was just waiting for the timing.
Yeah.
I was always waiting for the timing and the dots to connect. And then I could see like you also had like quite a lot going on.
Yeah. So even for you to say that, it works very well for me. And that's how like I believe the universe works. Because for a long time, like even when I started my career, for close to like 4 years, I was just so lost. I never wanted to be seen. And the irony is I work on TV.
That's the crazy thing.
Right? I'm like, I don't want people to know who I am. I don't want people
You never
to
even used to
acknowledge
post
me.
to take pictures or videos.
I never wanted people to see me because I was so unsure about who I was. And then like 4 years later into the job, I was just like, you know what?
Yeah.
This is who I am. This is the best I'm ever gonna get. So it's about time I started becoming loud and proud of who I am.
We'll get to that.
Yeah.
But let's take it back, Kwanzaa. Just a bit.
All right.
So what did you study like in school?
Well,
Yeah.
I went to university to study peace and conflict studies. The reason behind this is because
Hey, I'm laughing because it's such a huge opposite. But is it something you practice though?
no.
Maybe I'm laughing and you're
No.
practicing and then you tell me,
So
I
what
have a gig with
happened-
UN.
No, so what happened is
Yeah.
I got kicked out of high school, like on the last day of exams.
You have to tell us why. You
Because of
can't
cheating. So what happened was
cheating on your boyfriend or
my
cheating on exams.
On my exams.
Hey, okay.
So what happened was I had this friend and I have this very, very odd attachment style, like even with friendships.
Yeah.
And she was like, hey, I have the papers coming up soon. I have a contact who can give us the exam papers. And I was like, okay, oh well. So she's like, we need a phone that has WhatsApp. I'm like, I have a phone, but it doesn't have WhatsApp.
Yeah.
So she's like, how do we sneak it in? I'm like, I could put it in my box of biscuits, but I don't want to be caught. So if you're going to come with it, you come with it to school. So she does. And then we get the bio paper, which was absolutely wrong. Everything about that leakage was wrong.
Yeah.
Last day of school, I have my CRE paper. The next day, the deputy principal is like, Laura, just come in to the principal's office. I come in, there's a guy from CID and National Exam Council.
CID.
CID. I caved. I caved immediately. I was just like, yeah, I cheated. It was just me and Gertrude. Sorry, Gertrude. So it's just me and Gertrude. There was no one else. Like, no, the other girls. And I was like, nope, there's no one else.
Just us.
Turns out she snitched. Getty, unakaje.
She's the one who snitched.
She snitched.
Oh.
And I was like, it's just me and her. If I'm dying with this alone.
That's why they always say there's no loyalty among thieves. Of course.
Exactly.
Because you just never know. You shouldn't trust the next person if the both of you are already planning to do something that's wrong or illegal.
Yeah. So that happened. I got a Y, so I had to sit for my exams the next year. So I didn't do well. So when I joined university, I had to start with a certificate program.
Yeah.
But school just wasn't my portion. I was struggling. I'd pay fees and then I'd not show up to school. So I just had my certificate. And then when it was time to do my diploma, I was just like, this is too much. And I just started venturing into pageantry. So I was like, I prefer this to the books. Yeah. So let me see how far I can go with this. And that's the time I was doing Miss World. And then I came first runner-up. I was so shattered.
Let's take this slowly, first of all. You're just running. Where are you running? First of all, this is not TV. We have time. You've just...
I've compressed everything.
You're summarizing everything too. Hold on.
Keep it 5 minutes and short.
Yeah, just relax.
Yeah. So I started doing my exams. I would go to school regularly, but then I'd met this buddy of mine and she had like her life set. She had this 4-bedroom house in Mombasa. She'd like, let's just go to Mombasa.
Is that the friend I used to bump into you with a friend like all the time? Like you guys were like best friends.
Yeah, she was my best friend. Not really, but yeah, we're good people.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. She's good people.
All right, we'll get to that. Don't worry. Okay. No, because I remember there's somebody I used to... Yeah. The two of you like were almost inseparable. Plus, even when you describe all these other things, you didn't seem that chaotic, by the way.
Really?
No.
I'm not chaotic.
You are, no, not chaotic in a bad... Don't get
messy.
Me... Yeah, kind of. Because like from high school... Listen, I know a lot of mischievous people, but CID in high school...
Imagine.
How many people like... Come on.
Imagine. Yeah. So I'm just there and I'm like, I can't snitch.
You looked so innocent. That's why I'm saying, like, even when you take it back to like you doing your certificate course and not just going to school, you're bored.
Yeah, I was just bored at that time. You know, like going out in Nairobi was different because CBD was still popping.
Yeah. Actually, it was nice. It used to be nice, right?
Right?
Yeah.
And drinks were cheap.
Yes. And now it's all bottle service and everything.
Yeah, man. Like, who cares for bottle service? Most of you don't even dance. You're just there upset the whole time.
I keep telling people, they invite me and then I'm just like, no, I'm cool. Because back when we used to... Our whole, it was a bit different.
Right? You get 2 beers.
Yep.
Mahali, you drink,
you network.
You dance, you network. People
it's not just chilling in one corner till
exactly. Or you and your squad and you're not interacting. I'm not telling you to dance with me.
Yeah.
But we can have a conversation.
We used to, like, how did we start, like, even talking? I don't even remember, but apart from just the kiss, but we used to, every time it's like, hey, what's up? Another gig. But it used to be like more active, I can say
exactly. There was no elite squad that goes out.
There was
like
no
maybe
VIP.
The DJs and the cliques, but usually it was like everybody's just here to have a good time.
Everyone was reachable though. Like even like Blankets and Wine, you go, all your celebrities, you can still mingle with them, hug, take pictures, exchange contacts.
Yeah, it's changed. It's
a bit different.
Yeah, so that's the time I was going out and like I was so sheltered when I was growing up. Like I was very quiet. So like coming out, and I loved music, which is interesting because I just ended up working in the same field. I've always loved music. Like anyone who knows me, I remember I was just thinking about it today. And like when we were younger, my mom would wake up every morning and the radio would be on. So Caroline Mutuku, Laura Walubengo, the likes, everyone. So I'd listen to radio like a lot and I'd watch a lot of TV because my mom was a stay-at-home mom.
Yeah.
So the media was just my whole thing. My music was my escape. It didn't matter what... Like, I'd switch off the lights in my room and plug in my earphones and dance the whole night. In darkness. I still do that.
In darkness. Motherfucker, like, if somebody sees what I'm doing...
And I wait for my mom to sleep because she was just... she was the ops. Constantly just trying to ruin my fun. But yeah, so I come out to the scene and I'm like, wow, this is what's happening outside here. Everybody's just going about life like there's no tomorrow. This is what I want. I don't want to be in class reading about ethics.
Yeah.
Right here, there are no ethics and we are still fine.
That's true.
That was my first mistake.
Oh.
Yeah. But I enjoyed it.
Wait. Yeah, I'm just agreeing. And then you're like, that was my first mistake.
You know, like the thing about having fun,
Yeah.
people don't tell you. I like to use this example, like just based on my histories. Don't be the chick who forgets to leave the club,
True.
you know? And
You have to know like when it's
you
time
have to know when it's time to leave the club. And it's not just the club.
Yeah.
It's the club in life as well.
No, true.
You know?
Yeah.
You'll have fun, but you also have to be making conscious decisions. And that's why it's, for me right now, it's always so important I don't drink in the house. It's always good for me to make decisions when I'm sober constantly. I have to be sober at least 1 week before I drink, or like if I'm going out maybe once a month. Because if I think back to the time when I was in university, I wasn't doing something I liked, but for me, I call education a necessary evil because I'll be bored half the time. The course is peace and conflict resolution.
I can just imagine.
There's very little math and a lot of talking, a lot of discussions, and
serious conversations.
Right?
And you seeing your friends who are just having a blast every other time.
Someone is sending you a project, Amanda, come a thesis. Uko, like you, honey, you don't do anything for fun.
Yeah.
You know, and then so I went to the dean the first time. Like, I think I didn't defy it, but like I don't know what it's called when you don't go to classes, then you're like chucked from the thing.
I don't know. I used to attend my classes.
Oh, my bad.
Right.
Shit.
Just so you know.
So, well.
I'm playing.
Nah, I get it.
I just don't know the term.
Same.
I
don't know. So I never used to go to classes, so I was like dropped. So I remember I went in for like my computer class. And this was like the second time I stopped going to classes.
But when you're doing this, do
my family,
do they know?
Oh no!
Oh, wow!
Oh no! Then first, so I keep doing this, and then finally I'm like, I can't do this again. So I go to the dean of students, or I don't know, dean of studies. I'm not sure the term. And I'm like, hey, my family abandoned me.
I swear, if I'm a parent, hardworking parent, this is what you're saying.
My family abandoned me. My mom lives in Shags. You know, she doesn't like know what I'm even studying. So it's hard to explain to her that, you know, I was sent away to live with a man, you know, so he's just taking care of me. And I'm trying to figure out. So he's like, do you have any siblings? I'm like, yes, I have one sister. She lives out of the country, but she has her own family. We don't talk. So I'm just trying to register because, you know, like with my husband at home. I know you're asking, how am I getting away with this lie? But if you know that university in town, the CBD campus, it has older students and like children, like people like from the villages. So you find like very young people who are married or
different
like
crazy situations. So like it's not something
it's not out of the blue.
Yeah.
So he's like, okay. So let me give you a new form. You go clear and then you come re-register your unit and then we can continue. So he gives me the form. I'm going upstairs to the library, I think, to clear. And I'm just there like, no, what was all this for? Because I still don't want to do these studies. So at that time I was dating. I just started seeing some guy. And in all honesty, I was just dating him because he was rich. So,
okay.
And
shout out to the hardworking men.
Or so I thought. He had an Aston Martin.
Come on now. You know, everybody has to understand that.
And
that's
like,
understandable.
I don't even know what car this is.
Actually, you wouldn't even
I wouldn't even know. But I'm like, people are making a big fuss out of it.
Everybody else, when they see it, they're like, what? That's what he's driving.
Maybe this is what life's about, you know?
Yeah.
So I call him and I'm like, hey, I'm just done with like my school.
Yeah.
I can't do it. It's like, come, we'll chill. And that was my second mistake.
So you went and chilled.
So we went and chilled. I moved back home. I lied to my mom and I'm like, hey, I'm just waiting for the graduation. It's like in December. It's like 7 years ago. My mom has not asked me since. I'm waiting for the graduation in December or whatever.
Taking care of a daughter is hard work.
Anything else?
Yeah, actually fair enough.
You know?
Fair enough.
So I moved back home and I'm still sort of struggling. I'm trying out for pageants. I'm sending out videos. Miss World was coming up and I was like, I've just done Miss Tourism while I was still in school. So this definitely has to be it.
How did it go with Miss Tourism?
I placed first runner-up Nairobi.
Okay, now I remember because there's a friend I used to, so like, I know someone, because even for me, I was involved with Miss Universe. I was doing something for them back then. But then I remember there's a friend that I used to see like in all the pageants.
Yeah.
She used to be all the time top 5. She's always there. But she just never used to get the crown. She was just always there.
Yeah.
And so Miss Tourism, you became first.
Yes, I did Miss Universe in 2016. And then
that was the first one.
Yeah, that was the first one. I was top 5. And then Miss Tourism, I was first runner-up, 2018. And then immediately after, Miss World happened. And then I placed first runner-up.
Jeez.
So
tell us about that first.
So Miss World was like, I'd just done Miss Tourism.
Yeah.
And then Miss World was like, this is going to be my saving grace. This is where I'm going to shine. This is where I'm going to put my best foot forward.
Everything's going to change for you.
Everything's going to come back to normal. Like, this is going to sort out my
And even
my
the
mess.
parents will remember, like, okay, we understand why.
It's like, you're not in university, but you're Miss World.
Yeah.
And I can always go back because it's not like I flunked out of my classes. It's just that I didn't attend class.
Or even you can pick now whatever you want to do and just narrow down to it. Mm-hmm.
Because I had the documents for at least doing the pageant, because you need to be in university while you're doing the pageant.
Mm-hmm.
So I do the pageant that happened at the mall. I don't win. I'm still dating my guy. My mom had come. Mm-hmm. My boyfriend was there and a few friends. And I was so shattered. I remember even following the judges and I'm like, why didn't I win? Like, I did everything right.
Yeah.
And you know, like with pageants, you form friend groups and everyone's like, you should have won.
I'm telling you, it's one of the most heartbreaking things that I've ever seen. And now I can only imagine you coming from all the other pageants where you were just close.
I was broken.
And then this is Miss World.
Right. But I was like, cool, you can't win every time. So I was trying out for different pageants. Random one to do Miss Heritage, Miss Africa.
I was seeing you everywhere.
Everything.
Everywhere. And I was just like, she needs... No. I was just like, she really needs to win one of these things. Because you were always like... And even if you notice, like with other like models, once like they become like top 5 on one and they don't make it, some of them just, you never see them again.
Yeah. For me, it was just that. It's like,
but even where do you get that now? Because now if you don't make it on these other ones, you still go for the next one.
Yeah.
And because you know how girls are. I've been around models and I'm always telling people all the time, listen, girls are nice, but also girls can be vicious.
Oh, yes. But funny enough, my experience in pageantry has been amazing. Everyone I've met in pageantry has been so nice. But it also could be because I disassociate.
Yeah.
I'm really just checked out in most places where there's a lot of people because I can't deal with different energies. Because that means you have to adapt to everyone.
So you're not hanging around if you don't need to be there.
Yeah. So I have a base personality, which is I'll be kind, I'll be nice, I'll be courteous to you if you do the same back. Mm-hmm. But I won't delve into your life. Very few people did I make like very close friends. I have like Lorna, Mokera. Yeah. Very few people did we actually make a long-lasting connection, but I'm very good friends with all the girls I did pageants with.
That's nice.
Shantu, congratulations, Miss World.
She's the one who won this one?
Yeah, and she done and the year before and was first runner-up and did it again and won. So when I did first runner-up and then went the next year when...
You're sure, like, I'm going to win this? There's no way I can't win.
Oh, no.
You're not sure?
I surveyed the room and I was like, maybe it's time I packed my heels.
Really?
Was done and dusted with it. Yeah.
Okay, what made you make that decision? Because even from that's what I was trying to tell you, the Miss Universe thing that I was doing. I remember back then I was trying to give them ideas on how we can do videos, like we document from when they're coming in till we get like the winner. And just on the first day, like when you have like 100 girls, the first question I was asking them, like in the videos, is like, okay, what number do you think like he'll actually be like right now when they're doing like the filtering process?
Yeah.
So many girls were just like, me, I'm sure like at least top 10, top 5, top 3. Everyone was just saying that. And then now let the elimination process come.
Yeah.
The agreement was, we're doing this video, but now remember, just in case you don't make it to the next step, we still need a video of you just saying like, okay, I didn't make it.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, like, when the first 20 were eliminated, nobody wanted to be on camera. They were like, no. They were like, I said top 10.
Dare you?
Can you imagine if you say top 10 and
you're
the first ones to go home? You're not in top 80. not in top 90.
Now imagine you've gone through all that elimination process. It's the last day.
No way.
And you're standing there and you're like, so they start.
Kwanza when you guys were holding hands,
like,
right?
Third runner-up, second runner-up. It's like Lorna. Because then it starts with an L. I'm like, not me. I can't be second runner-up.
Yeah, impossible.
So it's like, first runner-up, I'm holding the other pageant girl. Her name is Finale. Such a sweetheart.
Oh, no, I know Finale.
Yeah, and her mom is such a darling also. And I'm holding her hand, but in my head, I'm like, I'm so sorry. Next time,
Better luck next time.
Better luck next time. And then they're like, second runner-up. Lord, hey. Sportsmanship.
Is like, what the hell is this? Yeah.
Nini many waste your time mwezi mzima mgeni show tu ni
been dieting, working out, nini. Yeah.
I'm here smiling, answering questions like I'm serious. At you, who dead or alive would you have dinner with? Nobody. And I don't win.
Yeah.
And you still have to hold your head up high and be like, congratulations.
You have to smile
But it's a feeling like a lot of us are ashamed to feel that, oh my God, I felt jealous, or I felt bad. I felt every emotion.
Because there's no other, you have to feel it because you knew you're going to win.
Exactly.
So
would you do anything if you didn't intend to win?
No.
Absolutely.
No. You're going there knowing that you'll win. So just in case it doesn't go through.
Yeah. So the only thing you can do is just lose respectfully.
Yeah.
And just walk away from it. Of course, I did ask my questions. And then with that,
they tell you, like, why you didn't make it?
I think they said something about my Q&A, which was a lie.
Come on, Q&A, how?
Mr. Can I drop names?
You can drop names.
Can I drop names? Mr. Robert Burale, that was a lie.
Wait, he was the one?
He was the judge. Because tell me why, Case. Someone who was in the audience heard me answer my question in 2018, called me last month to tell me she remembers my answer. It was that good. It couldn't be public speaking.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm upset, because the reason wasn't, I'm not upset that I didn't win. I'm just upset that, because I never remembered the question. And I was like, was I that checked out?
Yeah.
Maybe I didn't deliver it that well. So I felt bad, but then I was just like, it's okay. And then,
But how do you bounce back from that?
So first of all, once you've lost a pageant, there's all these ears in your voice that are like, you should have won. You deserved it. To make matters worse, Finale is Indian.
I think that's the year, like even I remember debate was like, okay,
there
so
was
now...
a heated debate that I totally avoided.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying I'm ashamed, because I get it. I get why people are outraged. I'm not saying it's right.
Yeah.
But I can understand the confusion, because we've seen it even with other people like we share the same common language. We share the country.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of debate, even from like members of my family on Facebook. And I just had to check them and be like, hey, sometimes you just don't win at everything.
Yeah, just relax.
Yeah, it's not a personal attack on me. We're all just young girls trying out something. And that to me was just one of the hardest decisions I've ever made, because I had every right to be outraged with everyone, but it's baseless. You know, like she's lived here all her life.
Oh, it's all good.
All right. She's lived here all her life.
I know that conversation is getting a bit heated. Because just like...
Yeah, because...
This microphone, I put it away.
So you sort of like look at the other person and you have to sit down and be like, I have to support her, even if I want to be her.
Do you think she won because she's Indian?
No. Do
you think she won because she's light-skinned?
No.
Okay.
I think she won because she's deserving.
You're not deserving?
At the time, I'll say I wasn't prepared to win.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, but even for her, she had tried out a couple of times,
She was
right?
Miss India Africa.
Yeah.
And despite like the height, the physique part, I'd be like, yeah, I took it. But for me, I've interacted with her personally, and she's an amazing human being. She's one of the kindest people I know.
Yeah.
Or at least when I briefly interacted with her and her
Are you still
mom.
friends?
We're not friends, we don't talk.
Oh, okay, maybe just because life, just a dancing
exactly. And even when
we
we were there, we weren't like building a friendship. We were just very close, but she was so kind to everyone.
Okay.
And yeah, I think she's just an all-round awesome human being. Her mom is too, because I've had her mom on one of my shows on TV, and that was great. So after that, then I just started trying out for other pageants, because I was like, this is what's working for me.
But let me ask you something. How do you think Miss World would have changed your life? That's too deep. Too deep.
It's not too deep. It's, I mean,
That's why I've played that. Just imagine.
I don't think it would have.
What?
Because I was so unprepared at the time.
No.
See, someone would have guided me towards things, but I would have ended up doing things that I never want to do.
No.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. Why I would say that, like, it's not even Finale wasn't prepped.
Yeah.
Isn't she the one who some things leaked online and everything?
No. That was Rushanara.
Oh, shit. Oh, shit. My apologies, guys.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. Am I confusing the two? And who's
Because Rushanara is also like part Indian, part Swahili, part Somali.
Hold on. So who are we talking about? Oh, I've had Finale in the podcast.
You've had?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, Finale.
We had to get permission from what's the lady?
Terry Mungai.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh yeah. Then she's
our
the
director.
oh no, that's actually my friend then.
She is. She's an amazing human being.
Oh no,
right?
she's the sweetest.
Thank you.
Now I think I was confusing her
With Rushanara.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And it was just like, I don't think.
Really? Funny enough, Rushanara is also amazing.
No, not in a bad way.
No, I know, but
personal interactions, different experiences,
exactly.
right?
Yeah. But to me, both of them are very nice.
Finale is nice.
No,
Finale is nice. Like when we're talking about like pure innocence, a nice heart. Like I don't even think if you raised your voice at her, like we'd all be like, "Yo, come on, that's not the right."
So
anybody else, but
point?
not her. Yeah.
You see what?
Okay, actually, her, I understand.
Yeah. So you see how it's easy to accept a loss when you see someone who's more deserving.
True.
Ego will always tell me I should have won and I should have won, but it's not because Finale won that it was unfair.
Actually, she is nice.
And why I
person.
say Miss Walden, I've never changed my life is because mentally at that time there was nothing I was doing right. I wasn't making the right decisions. I wasn't dating because I was in love. I was dating so that someone could fix my problems for me. And then in time, I ended up resenting him. I was doing everything but taking accountability for my mistakes. So I was trying to do everything else.
And all those things were coming like into molding into the person that.
Exactly. So I had a lot of low self-esteem. So even when I was trying out for pageants and they're like, send in a video, I was like, Sasa, niongeni semenini.
And you know this is part of you're representing the country, you know
and
that.
It's even worse because like I have 1,000 followers, but I'm like, Sasa mi ni beg, what one you vote here?
I'm telling you, pride.
So I'm doing that,
but you're like, why in this field by then, first of all? Because you know you have to engage,
I don't
right?
need validation. I don't need no one's validation.
Yeah.
But you need them, you know?
You do.
And so I tried out for a few, and just at the same time, I remember KTN was looking for TV hosts. So my ex was friends with a producer at where I work, and he was like, Nimeona kwa WhatsApp status yake, maybe you can try out. So like, cool, why not? I even still have the videos. I was bad.
That you
it was
sent,
so bad. No, even like during the film, the green screen.
Yeah.
So the first time they did a screen test was for news. So I had to read the teleprompter. I was gonna do the news.
Oh my God.
It's 9:00 right here in Nairobi, Kenya. You are listening to Dash News.
Whoa.
Imagine. I'm here telling President Ruto has just increased taxes.
But also another thing, and I think that's why I'm telling you the point that you're saying, like, it's not the best way you can say, like, I wasn't prepared for this. But you see, this other opportunity came through.
Right.
And it just came from, like, your ex who's like, by this, you just try.
Imagine.
And you can only imagine. And that's why I'm always saying, like, at times, even the people who are around you, okay, maybe it's not working out in a certain situation or thing that you have going on, but how they can just push you. Somebody who can be able to like see you and say, like, by the way, that just small gesture that he did, like,
you know, it's a person who sat
changes everything.
And me and my ex had a lot of trouble. Like I've talked about him a lot.
The person you resented.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And you see, that's
Women.
the thing. Because
the things that you get.
but look at it this way. At the time, I like to, I can't say mentor people, but I like to gaslight myself. And I was telling myself, you know, a man who loves you will do anything for you. So, because he told me like he loved me day one, which should have been a red flag. And I was like, no, since we are already here, let me get as much as I can out of him.
Oh, sheesh.
Not financially, but like in terms of companionship because I also needed companionship. And I'm like, if this is all I get, I'm okay with it.
So what do you mean by that?
So
because we always touch on like everything on the podcast, health, wealth, love, and happiness. So when you're talking about that, just a bit more detail for people.
So with this guy, like I told you, I wasn't necessarily interested in him. I actually thought so.
At all.
He called me that night. We'd hang out when shisha was legal because he liked to chew and smoke shisha. So we'd hang out a lot.
Yeah.
And I never thought he was interested in me. Plus, his friend used to hit on me.
Yeah, so you would probably think maybe most likely it's a friend who's...
So every time we're hanging out, I'm just usually talking to the friend and then conversation, it just goes round. Yeah. So one time he invites me to his place. I just picked my mom up from the airport. I call my best friend and I'm like, hey, let's go hang out at Drink Up. So I go thinking I'm hanging out with his buddy. But his buddy had come with a chick.
So you're like, hey.
So I'm like, hey,
what's up? Yeah.
Brothers?
Hey, what the hell?
So we end up chatting and turns out he's a nice guy. But at that time, I was just like, I'm not feeling him. Oh, yeah. He's not like, it's just
not your type.
Yeah, like it's not what I was going for.
And you haven't even envisioned him that way because like, it's just somebody that I know, I see, but I haven't. So
we keep talking and then we hang out a lot more. I'm spending more time with him. And I think also it came into play because I had a fight like with all my best friends. So I had that one friend only and she was in like a serious relationship. So I was like, what's there to lose?
Yeah.
I guess this is what we're doing now.
I might as well just try.
Pastime.
Yeah.
So while I'm doing this is when I'm still struggling with school, I'm doing pageants. And then when we became like official was like after Miss World. Because like when I was breaking down, he was the one who was there.
He was there for you.
Yeah, to be there with me. The reason I became resentful is I don't believe in I have a type. I say I have a type, but I really just don't have a type.
Come on now.
You can't
just say you don't have a type. That's ridiculous.
I don't have a type.
Do you like short guys?
I don't care.
Come on now.
I've dated short guys. I've dated tall guys. I've dated, for lack of a better word, fat guys. I've dated skinny guys. I've dated white guys. I've dated black guys.
How many guys have you dated? First of all, slow down.
This could be two different people. Like it could be fat white. Fat white.
Okay, so it got to a point maybe where you're like, and I think that comes with just even growing up.
Yeah.
And I keep telling like even my friends at times, it's like I wouldn't just pick a chick necessarily just because she has a big ass. And I have friends who can legit, and I'm like, yo, bro, you just picked her just because of her. And they say like, bro, I'm like, so nothing else. And of course, after a few months down the line, I'm like, what were you expecting?
Exactly.
Come on, like you didn't even see her personality. True. You didn't see or know her hobbies or get to know her.
And it's the same for me in reverse because I was dating him for the money.
Okay.
You know, like he wasn't giving me cash, but he was making my life
But
easier.
the life is easier. If you need something, in case of an emergency, I get you. Yeah.
So, but then getting to know him, he was such a nice guy and he was a dad to 2 kids. But he had his own skeleton. So there was a lot of cheating involved. The reason I became resentful was because I was giving 100, even though when I came into the relationship, I wasn't at 100. And now, he's cheating like excessively. Because if you're going to tell me you've run through 20 babes in the span of a year, that's mad.
When you're in a relationship.
Imagine.
Jeez. That would make you think, like, what were you doing wrong? Did you ever ask him?
But I spend most of the time with you.
Where do you even get the time, first of all?
Because when are you hanging out with your kids? Because you know the way chicks are
brutal. Yeah. Especially if you have kids, you have to go and give them time.
Who's hanging out with your kids? Don't play with me. I'll come pick up your kids from school and you'll never see them again.
I get you.
So that made me resentful because I'm like, I'm giving you 100. And
it wouldn't work anyway. Yeah.
But in reality, it was I'm giving 100 because of what I could potentially get out of him. And that was the opportunities, the comfort, the lifestyle, the partnership also. Because I won't say that I didn't enjoy his company. I didn't necessarily love him. Yeah. So that happened, and then I get the job at KTN. So I'm going to do my news reading. That time I've dropped out of school. Oh, and then like 2 weeks into the relationship, he lost all the money.
What do you mean?
Oh, yeah.
Like he just did a bad business move or something.
So one day, I'm leaving his apartment. The watchman is like, Madam, is he talker?
What do you mean, is he talker?
What do you mean, is he talker? And he's like, mwenye nyumba amesema huko kujalipwa rent, mtu yote anatoka kwa hiyo nyumba siachiliwe aende.
Are you serious?
And I'm like, but I don't live here.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just coming to see my boyfriend.
Red flag number 3.
Yeah.
So I call him, I'm like, nimekwama hapa down, see you come sort this out.
Yeah.
Comes, talks to him, I'm released. And then I'm like, apana. So I call him when I get home and I'm like, is everything okay?
Yeah.
Like, no, I'm at my sister's place. If you're coming back this way, just come see me at
my sister's.
I'm like, cool, maybe it's like 1-2 days. Because apparently he gave the agent a deposit, akaenda nayo, na 1 month's rent. To be honest,
those stories.
as a dude, keep your answers shorter than 3 sentences.
Yeah.
I effed up. Period. Hiyo yote ilikuwa nini?
Yeah.
So he's there with his sister, and shame on me, he's living there like for a few months. So
with
every time,
so now you're going to see
I'm going
to
the sister's house.
Ooh.
And I'm even staying there for a whole week. That's how much low self-esteem I had. No self-respect, nothing. Niko tu kwa nyumba ya msichana na kaa tu. I'm so afraid to even breathe because I'm like, I don't even want anyone to know I'm here because this is so shameful.
You can't even ask, is there juice in the fridge? You can't even...
I don't even want. And even in that house, like the way, and this is why you're told like, we're all human beings. You can always outlive someone's kindness. You
True.
can, I don't know how it's said, maybe I said it the wrong way, but someone's kindness can be overrun and be done with.
True.
I'd love to help my sister and my brother, but I have limits.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't admit that.
Oh, no, that's true. You can only just do it for so long.
Exactly. Especially if the recipient is not giving back what you require in terms of like appreciation or something like that. My ex was that type. He's a last born. He's spoiled. He's just disorganized. He's the baby.
Yeah.
So he's just living reckless.
He knows somebody's going to come and take care of him.
He's chewing babe like the whole 3 days. He comes back
It's
after
not anybody
one.
who chews. They need like the ample time.
Right?
Like, I never even tell people things like people who watch soccer. Nothing wrong with it. Because, of course, we have your Man U, Arsenal. And I'm always like, these leagues never end. Today, tomorrow, and then one match, the next match. And then I'm like, I can't do it. I can only watch something that's short, brief, something like basketball I can watch.
Right?
And then get back to business or something. I understand.
I believe in not being over-invested in anything that's not immediately in front of you. Or has a future like you're building. So even like when I'm watching series, sometimes I'm like, can you mini Peter? But I'm like, what is it adding?
You can't watch it for like hours.
Having
You're
it in
like,
my memory, I'm not writing a book or whatnot. Everything I do is passive unless it has anything to do with me directly. Yeah.
So I get you.
Yeah, so I'm living with him at his sister's house partially. I'm leaving home. I'm coming here. I'm not allowed to sit in the front of a cab. I'm not allowed to talk to guys. So I've got the job at KTN. I'm not allowed to speak to guests or take pictures with them holding me. Yeah, I can't talk to security. I'm not allowed to hang out with my friends.
Wait, these are his rules.
Yeah.
Now you see that.
And he's homeless. How am I being given instructions by someone who's homeless?
Actually, that's true. That's true. A homeless person cannot give you such rules.
I'm leaving my mother's house, so I'm being given instructions. Going to someone's sister's house to be given other instructions.
No. But such things, and I'm always saying it like even because at times I've even had like small situations, and maybe because for me, I'm a social person. You'll always see me taking pictures, kissing people on the cheeks, on the lips. I'm having, a good old time.
Yeah.
Of course, I'm not advocating for everybody to try this. This is not for everyone. Yeah, this is not for everyone. I have a perfect excuse of doing that. But now you can only imagine if you partner with somebody who doesn't understand that, it will actually, because like, let's say you've said you're coming to the show and they've maybe checked out like your Instagram and they're feeling some kind of way.
It happened because I was going for a photo shoot and I was like, who was I taking pictures with? I've forgotten his name, but it was years ago.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm going to Rwaka. I'll sleep at my brother's place.
Yeah.
I'm going for a photo shoot so that I'm just there early in the morning in time. Like, first of all, I don't even care about your brother. He's bad influence. He should be the first person you drop. I'm like...
This is my blood. Come on, what do you mean?
I'm like, calm down.
Yeah.
We'll talk about this later. But I'm going for my photo shoot. So I go for the photo shoot. I'm excited about the pictures. And he's like, alipiga picha? Alikuwa na nani huko studio? Mulikuwa tu nyinyi wawili? Hakuna actually fanyika? I'm like, it's just pictures.
And that's a crazy thing.
Right?
Yeah.
And
but
you don't
I get
see this as a bad thing at the time. You're just like, you're overreacting. Or maybe you love me too much.
What? So you wouldn't, at the time, you wouldn't pick it as a red flag.
I didn't, but the cab thing was the one that was weird because.
So the cab thing was
like I shouldn't. I liked sitting in the front because I'm very tall, and it just made sense to sit in the front. Admittedly, even for safety, it's better if you sit in the back. But I like.
And so it's back left for safety, right?
Yeah. But I like being very aware of where I'm going.
And at times it's just, I understand that's like back in the...
Yeah, like 2018,
yeah, even for me, remember, there's a time like, I remember like that was the seat that I used to. But now it's, if I'm taking a cab, it's back
after
left.
COVID.
But then it was like...
You could sit in the front.
Yeah,
and,
and I also used to enjoy that because you see everything that's happening, right?
Exactly. And we used to just run in groups, so I'd always sit in the front because I'm taller. So it was like just preset in my mind.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, you can't be sitting in front of the cab. You can't be dressing a certain way.
Because the cab guy now will cut you in.
Imagine, if I go somewhere, he'll just randomly, we are chilling. It's like, do you think Nick Mutuma is hot?
Like,
I mean, objectively, but maybe not for me.
Yeah.
And it's like, but it's I
think so. There's somebody who got mad at me because they asked me, like, do you think Kim Kardashian is pretty?
She is.
I was like, are you fucking crazy? I'm like, yes. Yes. And they were upset. I'm like, I was trying to just like, even now, I'm like, I was like, okay, let's just think about it. Like children. Where am I getting Kim Kardashian? Where? Kanye West is the husband. Where am I getting Kim Kardashian?
That was his argument, is that he's just a bit too close to home.
Come on.
And you could access him. You see, like me, I want Halle Berry. I'll never get her.
But that's the thing. With entertainment, regardless, you still keep meeting every single different personalities every day.
And it's such
so is he going to do the vetting process for the office?
Oh, let me tell you. If I was in studio and I took a picture with a guest, he'd see, like he'd held my shoulder or my hand. Best believe nimeblokiwa hiyo day. Nimeenda nimenunua SIM card 5. Nimpigie.
What kind of relationship is this, man? But relationships can be silly at times, yeah.
Because I felt like he's the only person who understood me. I was lying at home. I was keeping secrets. I had no one to talk to open up to.
And he's there to listen.
You're the only person who gets it.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter how toxic it gets. I remember one time, chicks used to call him. And then I was like, why babe's calling you all the time?
Yeah.
He's like, listen, I just take their numbers for kicks. And then when they call me, I don't answer. I was like, cool. Imagine.
Wait. And you fell for that.
Okay. Me, I believe just about anything.
First of all, shout out to that guy because I've never had that.
So they call me, I don't pick up, and I'm like, hey, if you say so. But she's called a lot, so I don't know.
And then you are those ones of like, but see, I'm with him later on. Like, so either way.
Yeah, like, what's he going to do? Answer and leave me in the house. So I'm searching his stuff. I'm just perusing, snooping. First of all, when we were even together, I had a dream that there was a babe jumping the window, and then I was coming into the bedroom. So I come and I tell him, hey, I've had this dream. I don't know what one. Let me tell you how life is so funny. I go into his room, I find a button on the bed. I'm like, this is not my button. And you know, it's like the gold button. So it's obviously from a babe.
Definitely from a chick.
I was like, unajua tu kama na mademu wake wanaingiaga kila pahali. Like, okay, fine. I can't argue with logic.
Yeah.
So then the phone thing happens. So I check his bag and then he has like a bunch of condoms. I'm like, what are these for?
Wow.
He's like, wouldn't you rather if anything happened, I was protected?
But actually, that's true.
I'm like,
as heartbreaking as it is.
But why are you in a position for anything to happen? No. Unless it's a bunch of dudes who are after you. And you're like, here, get
by the way, don't
but
get
if
it wrong.
Chicks,
yeah. No. But I'm just saying, you see, that's the craziest part, like even about relationships. And that I've been arguing about this with some people on the podcast. Like, you need to understand, like, even infections come through couples the most. Yeah. Because couples, of course, you're just going raw, right? So if there's a CD evidence in the bedroom, that's fireworks. So somebody would rather be so afraid of getting caught that they'd rather smash another chick raw and come and give you like some fucking infection.
See, the logic is solid.
First of all, you'd be like those ones of like, okay, so I'm mad at you, but CD at least there now. I give you props, but we have to break up anyway.
The logic is solid,
It is.
right? If you are going to mess up, I'd rather you use protection.
True.
But why did you mess up to begin with?
But it's gonna happen though.
What do you
okay,
mean
I
it's gonna
understand. No,
happen?
I'm just saying. I understand. Think about it. Like even now, how we live, the generation that we're in right now.
I mean,
how many people do you see together in relationships constantly? Like, so if you're just being like an adult, because even like right now, let's say, depending whether you're in a situation or you get in a situation, just put it like, in case if he ever cheats, don't let it take away everything else that you guys have going on. Because if you have kids,
listen,
what does that do to
so over time, I've learned something about life, and it's if you have order, you must have order in everything. Otherwise, everything crumbles.
So if somebody cheats on you,
exactly. So if we're in a relationship, you're making a commitment, unless it's open, and that's a different agreement. So cheating is in effect going out of routine and order. Whether you carry condoms today, tomorrow, one day you will slip up, because this is not what is supposed to occur naturally. What you're supposed to do normally is be in a relationship. So that one time you weren't planning on cheating, but you're outside, and it's probably a babe you've hooked up with maybe 2-3 times, and you're like, it's her.
Yeah.
It always happens. And that's why I can't say it's better that if they're prepared, because unless you're prepared, I don't see you packing for your cheating escapades, Now we change the podcast to cheating escapades.
Cheating escapade, yeah, let's go.
So it's like I'm packing my condoms, my lubricant, and also, a bulletproof vest if the husband shows up.
Some refreshments, snacks,
wet wipes. I'll be back at like 6. I'd never been such an arrangement, and that's why I know something will always go wrong.
But have you been in another relationship after that?
Yeah.
Did they cheat? Did you cheat or did they cheat?
So
that smile just says a lot. You don't even need to answer. There's a smile that I've seen, and I already have my answer. It's like,
I'm very honest about it. It's just, like when you have to own up to your own bullshit.
Accountability.
But it's part of the process. Yes, I did cheat.
Okay.
And
but hold on. But you see, that's what I'm saying. At times, we also have to remember we're just human. So imagine if it's in a situation where you're married to the person and you have kids. Because all these things that we're doing now, we're just practicing for the future. Because understand, maybe now in future, you just don't wake up. It's like, I'm going to start afresh. No, you can't just hit the refresh button. No, you have kids. And remember, your kids love the dad.
Yeah.
So if he slips up one time, you're telling me you're getting a divorce?
To be honest, no.
Why? Okay, why not?
Of course, I want to say the typical answer. I hope that never is my situation. But
it happens to anyone.
It happens, exactly.
You've cheated before.
I have, but I was just a horrible human being.
And maybe you're the one who's going to cheat.
Where I've healed and I've recovered.
But I'm just saying, even going back to a situation where you're like, okay, I messed up.
Like even with my ex, this one that I'm saying tormented me.
Yeah.
I've forgiven him because, one, I admit I didn't like him, honestly.
Yeah.
I gradually learned to tolerate him, we'll say. So he had every reason to feel neglected. I wasn't even addressing what he was dealing with in the background. So I totally understand why he did what he did. And I forgive him for it. I no longer feel like a victim or I was wronged. I understand human emotions are complex and sometimes you find people in such a place. Had it led to marriage and he cheated, I'd want to think I'd handle it the same way I'm saying. But I know emotion, and you get carried away. But I wouldn't say that I'd throw it all out. I'd like to see to think I'm a good judge of character, and I'd like someone to see things from my point of view and understand that forgiveness is a gift. So I wouldn't necessarily leave.
Yeah.
If I'm being honest.
Yeah, especially if it's just a one-time thing.
Don't say
okay.
that.
No. Why I'm saying it, because understand, there's so much, and I'm always trying to ask, even other young girls who are not in marriage and everything. I'm always asking them do you think you're smarter than all these other women who've been cheated on?
Yeah, exactly.
And even that aside, look at the now rapid growth of just single moms, even in Nairobi.
Yeah.
There's just a part of so many kids that they are not going to experience just having a dad at home. Central, we have the whole alcohol problem thing.
I'm from a single parent home, right?
Okay, now.
And I've
has that affected
it has
how
100%, because when my mom and my dad broke up, it was so messy. So every time, I remember my mom used to threaten me, Okay. My mom is such an amazing human being. Like I've learned.
I saw you and her crying on a podcast, so we're gonna touch on that as well.
My mom is an amazing human being. She was Hitler when we're growing up.
Yeah.
But she is an amazing human being. You start to appreciate your parents and see the struggles they went through, and you're like, maybe I overreacted.
You understand why they had to do.
I didn't
what
have to shape my whole personality on one argument. You know.
Yeah.
So my mom like used to be so vicious when it came to my dad. You know, like she'd even tell him, kwanza ukipata kazi na usaidio babako nitakulani sana wewe. Utakuwa unafanya kazi na upati pesa. So nowadays I'm just working. I'm like, is it because I like my dad even though he passed away?
Yeah.
That I'm not, you know.
He's no longer here.
He's no longer with us. And because I remember like really appreciating my dad when I was older. Like he used to laugh all the time. He was always so happy. But my mom had told me, oh, he's such a bad person. Because my other siblings, we don't share a dad.
Yeah.
And the dad kidnapped them like when they were kids and took them to DRC. So my mom was always like, no, ni kuoni unakaka huko nje na babako akubebe ukupeleke huko Congo.
No, but she was just afraid of losing you. So you understand.
You understand it. Yeah.
Now as an adult, you understand it was just
true.
Like, you know, what do you call it? Like an instinct that she's trying to like...
Trauma.
Yeah, of course.
And so growing up without a dad, I can't pinpoint what it is exactly because for everyone it's different. But for me, I don't have an idea of what a two-person home looks like. So I don't know the basics of what a relationship should be. I don't know what the foundations of a relationship are. So even when I look back...
how you're supposed to talk to a man.
Exactly. Yeah. And you know, all these things...
At times, chicks talk to me and I'm like, how dare you?
Right?
Who taught you?
And you know, it's not about being a pick-me or I'm saying this so that any man can come. I'm not searching. Yeah. I'm not saying I want to be married tomorrow. I probably will never get married, and I've made peace with the possibility. You
can't say you've made peace with that.
No, you have to make peace with with what life could turn into. Are you happy with who you are currently? Yes. If I do find a partner that I can spend my whole life with, great.
You seem like a reasonable person, so I don't understand
why. I seem like it, but I'm not.
No, you're not?
Let me tell you, when shit hits the fan, I've lost it. I'm out. I checked out the door. Reason is out.
It's like, I'm sorry, the person you need, this is a whole different person. No, but I think regardless of anything that you've gone through, now with other people's experiences, things that we learn. Because now we're learning so many different things from people, whether it's from TV. Because now with the internet, we have access to so much information.
Yeah.
And I think we can be more rational. Like even for me, if somebody does something wrong to me, I think I'll give it like one chance, 2, 3. I'd be able to give it room. And then now if it exceeds, and then I'm like, okay, so at least I've tried.
Exactly.
But otherwise it would have been like chambo,
exactly. And you always have to do a lot of introspection, you know? It's like, why is this action from this person pissing me off? Can I address it?
Yeah.
For me, I 2 years ago, I came up with the decision that I'll be very honest. I'll only speak the truth. I try. And I'll address everything straightforward, as bad as it feels.
You just say it so that I'm over with it.
I'm over and done with it, because keeping worry in your mind is something that I don't want.
Yeah.
So back to what we're saying about having like a dad in a home.
Yeah.
It would have changed a lot to do with my personality in terms of maybe confidence. Because
for sure.
What my mom is never like, good job, you're doing this right. She'll congratulate me when I do something nice, but she'll never be like, keep pushing.
I know how you know how dads would be.
You know, my dad, even if it's the driest joke, he'd laugh, hit the steering wheel, and I'm like, maybe, you know, he's encouraging me to speak up more, do things, because I have very low self-esteem, right? So
even now,
I
still kind of struggle with it.
I still struggle with it because, you know, like especially with like the internet and the job I do, you look at people and you're like, maybe I'm not doing enough.
I think you've really, like anybody who knew you back then, because even like for me, I was just looking at your videos and I'm like, this is really impressive.
It's growth.
Because you used to be like that really quiet person. And, you know, like, even for me, I used to gauge like people who I can disturb. Like, so I was like, she just looks too innocent. Like, I just like need too much to her. Like, so it was always like, hey, what's up, Nini? You'd smile. But then I was like, oh no, let me not bother this one too much. But now, like, how I see your personality has grown, the confidence and how you And I'm sure, like, even for him, he'd have been crazy proud of you right
absolutely.
now. He'd have been like, what?
Absolutely.
My daughter?
And I have my dad's voice. Like, me and my siblings from my dad, we have our dad's voice. His voice
strong,
was so
powerful voice.
If he speaks, everyone listens. And he's such an amazing guy.
And that's something you are covering. But 100%. Look at it now.
Yeah, and I didn't mourn him properly when he passed away. So I probably mourned him like years later. But I mourned him not in sadness. I'm glad, even though it wasn't the biggest part of my life, I got to experience my dad. And I got to feel the love of a man before it had to become physical, you know? I knew what being safe around a man felt like.
That's good.
What being protected felt like, what being loved unconditionally felt like.
Yeah.
And from the opposite sex, and those are now the things that I look out for. It's less about, who looks good when I'm with them? Can we take nice pictures?
True.
Or who has the most money and whatnot? Because there was a time like my dad was really struggling financially, but he always made sure to see me at least once every week. And he'd walk hours, it doesn't matter.
He'd make sure like at least
every time, and I was so mad every time he showed up. I was like, sasa nilikuwa na watch movie.
But now think about it now, when you've all grown up.
There's no amount
and
of money
you're like,
anyone would
you
give
can't
me.
buy it. You can't buy
it.
that. You cannot buy that. And now you understand even somebody just showing up for
presents, a lot of presents. And I'm so proud of my brothers because I see them with their kids. And I'm like, this is what we needed. Like, even for my brothers, because I see what the absence of a father in our home has done to them. And to see them try and recover from that and rebuild is something I admire. And I'm like, why would I go and pressure someone else's child?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So that also, like, for me, like, put gears in place. And I was like, if you're going to find a good partner, if you're going to lead a good life, because for me, family is a good life.
Yeah, for
having
me,
a family.
And I think I keep telling people, like, I know, like, now there's all this narrative of like, I don't need a man. Maybe you don't, but what about your kids? Do you even understand, like they're missing out on so much?
Yeah.
And it's not even about money.
Yeah.
The same way you've described, it's not like,
it's
okay,
not
I know everybody
money.
says like a man has to provide, but that guy just being there.
Because I promise you, presents.
That's everything. Because think about it, like when you're a kid, you don't need money from your parents. You really don't. You don't. Your dad taking you to the park, buying you like ice cream, talking to you, carrying you,
advising you, course.
It's just something like, hey, mama, you got this, don't worry, Nini. That's it. That's not money. Money can't do that.
And because I've started dealing with it now, when you're getting some more opportunities, you deal with the trope of she's a problematic woman a lot. So you'll hear
Yeah.
And for me, I hate that argument because I've put myself in a position where I know I can think rationally and sanely when I'm going to an office setting. So you telling me that is pissing me off.
Especially in a work environment, everybody should know how to behave when they're there.
But when I look at a family setting, there was a time me and my best friend went to Marikiti. We were like, we're broke, we need to start doing something serious. We bought nyanyas for like 500 bob. Nimebana nazo na boda niko Katani, nimesema nenda kuuza nyanya kwa bar. I've had it.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I even bought the paper bags, those nylon.
Also, if somebody wants, you can.
Yeah, I pack. I was going to pack them. I go, and then I'm like, unataka nyanya.
When the hell was this?
This is like 2019, 2018.
Are you serious?
Yeah, so nimezieka hapo nje ndio ni sort because, like, I didn't know how to go to the market. So I'm just picking the best, and then I see how much profit I can make.
Yeah.
Hey, my mom comes in and is like, na nimenunua hizi nyanya zote. So I panic.
Just picturing your mom every time. I'm just laughing, by the way.
I'm like, how do I tell her I want to start a nyanya business? Because when I told her I wanted to start a chicken business, she was like, itafanya. Everything I tell my mom's like,
It's like, who's with this nonsense again?
Who's up here with some bullshit again? So I'm like, ni boyfriend ya Joanna amenipatia wako na shamba, and that's how my business died.
Because, so you killed that story.
Because the minute I see any doubt in my mom, I'm done. But if my dad was like, do it,
he would have pushed you. He would have told you go.
If you feel unsafe, if
you need me to.
That's exactly what I needed. My brothers weren't around because they were working out of the country, but maybe that's not what would have happened. But the way I know my dad, if I had told him this is my plan, he would have helped me see it.
Or
through.
like, how do we scale it? Like, okay, is this the idea? So maybe try and do it this way and this way.
And I don't blame my mom for that. It's my mom was a homemaker, and even when she worked. She worked in the hotel industry where she used to take care of rooms, take care of people, customer service, those things. So she's good with people, but she's not good with the business aspects.
Yeah, and you know how men move, like it's completely different. So,
and that's my experience. So when I hear it from someone else, I'm like, I can relate. It's okay to hear something and be like, maybe that doesn't work for me. My mom was all round and perfect, and she encouraged me, and this is what my life turned out. Same. I never missed anything. My mom came for all meetings. I was the first person to be picked up from school. If I was broke in school, my mom would send me pocket money. I never lacked anything.
And I think that's also very important to say that, because you see, like, even the role that a mom plays, very, very special. Very special. And like now you also see like where the dad comes in and the role he actually plays. So like now, like I don't even know how many single moms that I know. Like it's crazy.
It is.
But then I'm like, all these kids will need therapy in future, because now they do not know anything at all. Because you can only imagine, like for your portion, you can say like, I remember he used to do this.
Yeah.
So at least you have, you know, and even memories about him. I had a podcast guest who said she hasn't seen the dad.
I heard.
Did you see that one?
Fuck my dad. I was like, can I curse on this podcast?
You can. So now I posted the same video on TikTok. You should have seen the number of girls who don't have fathers and how it has affected them.
Yeah.
At least like 400-500. And now you can only imagine we have more kids who are coming in. So it's I think it's okay, but we need to figure out how we can still coexist. Because there's no day I will ever say I'm waking up in the morning. It's like I'll never need a woman in my life. I can do so many things for myself.
Yes.
But a woman plays a different role when she comes in my life.
And you see, like not all marriages are great. Not all parents are good.
Of course.
But the exception is not the rule.
True.
You know? And even look at it like in the most basic way. As a kid, I'd rather have two parents to depend on than one.
Yeah.
You know? I get more help by having both. Like imagine now if there's sports day, I can't leave work.
Yeah.
And my husband is free at home.
Yep.
He'd go check her out.
Easy.
But if it's just me, first I'd feel like I'm disappointing my daughter. Like even just the most important
thing. It'll even stress you. You'll be depressed when your daughter is already depressed as well.
You just need help. And if that's the only thing that's available, for me, that's very important.
Very important.
Because I keep telling people, I don't care what I do. If I was caught selling ass on the streets, been arrested in Koinange, I have drugs, I'll always call my mom first.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing I do that I do, at least now, that I do with shame or I do shamefully. I do everything so confidently because I stand 10 toes behind what I do.
True.
Now I can imagine if I had my dad to support me, like even when I'm broke now, call my mom and be like, hey mom, help me 4 Gs, I'll pay you back in a few days.
So imagine if
my mom tells me no, imagine if I could call my dad, even better.
It's even better.
And him, I don't have to pay back.
Yeah, you don't have to. He wouldn't even want you to. He wouldn't even. Your mom would be like, I remember. Hey, wait.
You know? And
so
she's always happy to help, but, you know, she's getting older and I'm also like getting older. So you need things to make sense. But I wish she had help when it came to us.
Yeah.
You know, so that's the only part maybe that...
And even now you start looking at it, you're like, oh, she would have had like a lot of weight off her shoulder.
Yes.
And that's where a man is supposed to come.
So you can imagine why our relationship was always just so tense, because I'm raising like 5 kids.
Yeah.
Wewe ndio unataka tuanze kudeal na wewe.
That's a lot of work.
Right? And she's a single mom, she's unemployed.
That's a lot of work.
So
that's crazy.
Yeah, it's
and
wild.
Even moms, and like that's why I give props to old school moms, because like I don't know how they did it. Because now people are crying depression, mental... Okay, nothing wrong with that. But of course,
me, I'm crying all of that and I still have no babies.
But can you imagine? Like everybody now is always... But I'm like, I had 3 kids in your life who are constantly like, Mom. They do not know you're broke. And they did such a good job that they didn't make us feel like, you know, we don't have enough cash, we don't have nini. But now I think it's in all people's faces. Like even kids have been taught like, you don't have money because your dad is driving this. You don't have money because... So there's pressure all around. But now it's not the most healthiest environment.
It's not. It's definitely not. And even for me, because with all the mistakes I've made, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Learning that was like, you just need to sit down and appreciate this is where you are. This is exactly where you are. If you are stripped of everything now, Laura, the only thing you have is a body.
Yep.
You have no money in the bank, and you can't be moving like, I own 3 Lexus in the parking lot. No. You have to show up at work, so you budget. So stories like Panda, Uber 24/7, cut out. Going out, buying an outfit every week, you need to cut out.
Yeah.
Because this materialistic world can drain you.
And I've told people enough times, because even now, like one of the things that I've really grown good at is like finances. And it's one of the things I keep telling people. Now we have these debates like, Gen Z, millennials, and I'm always telling them like, trust me, like this is the most sensitive time, because the more you're wasting money, I can guarantee you'll be homeless. Kitambo, life was cheaper. Now life is not cheap. So any coin that you make, and that's why like I tell somebody, why don't you just use a matatu to go here from here? Like even if it's an assistant, it's like, okay, I'm tired. I'm like maybe you've burnt like 5 sok. Would have used 50 bob. Yeah. That money could have done anything else with it. Buy food, walk in the house with some groceries and any. But if that concept doesn't sink in now, it's okay, but it's going to sink in future. You can't escape the future. It definitely will.
It will. And let me tell you, I think it's a meme, but the advice I'd love to give kindergarten kids is start saving now.
And now.
Start learning where every single penny goes. Start learning the value of money, because you'll stop thinking there's someone who's coming to give me 500,000 and I'll buy my mom that house. Yeah. And then I'll be happy forever because I'll be that bitch. Yeah. We all want to be that bitch. Yeah. But it's costly.
I'm always asking, like, you think we didn't want that? You think I don't have dreams of being like way...
First, the idea that I don't care how hot you are. Yeah. That you think there's just someone who's out there and you'll get them after the first try, you're lying to someone.
I'm getting this one. Yeah.
You're lying to someone and it's not me. Yes. Utafanya tries 50, 60.
Yep.
Until you find the right one. And by then, your mental state is just at a...
It's already messed up because of all the bad experiences that you've been through just trying to find this one person.
And... So for me, I've just learned to live within my means. I have to say no, even when I don't want to. Even when it's taken longer for me to build my career, because I said, if it's not in my pocket, if it's not within my financial range, I'm not taking up an opportunity I can't finance myself. Because I remember I used to apply for pageants and I'd need like 100,000. Yeah. I'm talking to this guy, I'm like, hey, I need tickets, an address.
Yo.
And they're like, how much do you need? 100,000. I've never even seen you. I'm like, but you will. Imagine if you come for my event.
Oh my God.
You get enough no's, you're like, maybe I should find the money if it's that easy to give it out, And then you start seeing that the come up is hard. The come up is so hard.
I keep telling people like, you see, like even when you're describing about like just, finding yourself in a position where you're selling nyanyas and stuff. I keep telling people, I think it's been preached out there. You see people like nowadays buying cars, sending bouquets and everything. I'm like, that's not real life. We have suffered out here. We have suffered. And we're not just saying this to probably the younger generation so that they can feel like, also you guys think we have to work the same way as hard as you to be able to get in these positions. Like what I can tell you is a guarantee. If you don't work hard, you won't make it.
True.
Because it's not going to happen. It just won't happen. You can sit down, hope, pray, all those things. It's just not going to happen.
And I keep telling people the exception is not the rule.
It's not. Those few people you see with those situations.
Instagram is how many million people?
Yep.
There's a billion people, right? And I've even been, I remember someone yesterday we were at the cafeteria with my friend Yolanda, and there's someone because Yolanda is like my best friend. And this lady from the office is like, guy, manakulaba, I'm kulangi KFC. And I'm like, first of all, at your big age, stop addressing me like that,
Watch your mouth.
Hey, and, it's, for me, there's always been this misconception that Juna Jock by Mtumba, I mean, he's a rich kid.
Yeah.
Like, I'll even meet guys and they're like, hey, Laura, this whole time I thought you were a rich kid. I'm like, do you think I'd be hanging out with you if I had the option?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. It'd be my first option around me.
And you buy into that and you're like, maybe because people think of me like this is how I should be, because this is what means to have standard and class.
It just means you carry yourself in a very
With
respectable
dignity.
way. That's all.
Unaoga unapaka mafuta ka lipstick kidogo.
It doesn't take much.
You know,
it really doesn't take much
you
to be
shouldn't
presentable.
make your appearance or how people view you to subject you to pain that you can't recover from.
That's true.
I keep telling people I've made so many mistakes in life and they've all come to bite me in the ass.
They always come back.
All of them. I don't care if it's I made out with someone's boyfriend and then I came and told them, "Aki, your boyfriend is nice. He's so nice. He's so nice." When I was 19, it didn't matter. It came to bite me in the ass.
Yeah.
And that's when I was just like, where? Maybe if you lead a clear path, no one is not going to suffer. We are all going to suffer. No one deserves suffering. It's just the way life is, but not inflicted on yourself. And the pain that is the worst is the one that is in the mind. And that's what changes you, like when
because it can't go away.
You're the only person who's experiencing it. It's not visible. You're the only person who knows the remedy. And that's why for me, accountability, honesty, truth, those are my very, very major fundamentals.
And also like another thing, because I know I think I'll still need an extra memory card probably for your episode, but I wanted to ask you about, since we've talked about like so many different things and how just balancing yourself to be like almost like a sane person, you can notice like in this younger generation right now, a lot of people is like, because I think during our time, I don't think it was depression. It was just stress, and it used to be like, stress is part of life.
Yeah.
I don't think life can ever lack stress. And I think right now, the biggest problem that I see is I think a lot of people tie being broke to depression, which I think are two different things.
Yeah.
You can just being broke is okay. It's just part of like the hustle thing because your trajectory and then you'll get to a certain position. So I think a lot of people, it's like, because I'm not successful, I'm depressed.
Yeah.
Because things are not going my way, I'm depressed. Because I'm not getting my dream job, I'm depressed. How many jobs have you had to do, Laura?
I've done a lot.
And you're still doing a lot.
Because we'll go to that. Lot. Yeah. And that thing you said, being broke and depression, they go hand in hand. But the thing is, I realized this with me, Druzy. I'm broke currently as we speak.
You're not broke.
No, I'm like surface level, I'm broke.
Okay.
But there's things working for me that will bring money.
You're just saying you're not where you want to be.
No. I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. But like, with the daily spending, I've spent over what I was supposed to spend. So I'm broke now.
Okay.
But 2 weeks from now, I won't be broke because I'm working towards something. So the depression comes in is like when you have nothing to do, which was something I was dealing with. You've read the headlines about our company. And I work like once a week. So my program would always be like Monday through Friday, get the longest sleeps of your life, eat as little as possible, go out as minimum time. You think I'm light skinned now? I was pale white. My brother used to look at me and was like, "You're disgusting." Light skin on light skin crime. He's like, "You're disgusting. Like, get some sun."
Get some sun.
I used to tell, because I used to be on radio on Friday only, and then I work Saturday night. I used to tell people, if I leave here on Saturday at night, at midnight, the next time I'm leaving my house is on Friday morning when I'm coming to radio.
Yeah.
I've not seen sun. I've not spoken to a single person.
You never used to go outside?
I never even used to. My phone only rings from one person, my best friend, and she knows to not call me every day.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, so why? Just explain to me.
Because I isolate. When I have nothing going on, I don't have the energy to bring in anything else. What? So I created a depressive mood for myself.
Yeah, I want that, like, just tear you into pieces, first of all.
Exactly. First, I'm like, I hate where I live. I hate this house. I hate this bed. It's been here for
you
too
just
long.
hate everything.
I hate everything. So you don't think that going outside will help.
It does.
Going outside helps.
And it does help.
Having a random conversation with the people around you.
Helps.
It helps.
Helps.
Talking to your watchman, ata tu umjule hali. And I know people hate your mazoeano or nini, but find people.
Just find people you can interact with,
Me, my mama mboga juzi surprised me. She's like, wewe unaweza kuja hapa tu uchukue kitu yote unataka. Hauendagi kwingine. It felt nice. It really felt nice because I'm like, I'm building a relationship with someone just based on respect and communication constantly. So even when you're not feeling like, and that's why I was telling my friend, you need someone, because I don't want to say I'm Christian, but I'm religious. I keep telling her, you need someone who'll carry your faith when you're lacking.
True.
And my best friend does that for me. I do that for her. When she's down, I'll show up at house and I'm like, I don't care what you're dealing with.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, we leave, we go take a walk.
Yeah, let's just go do something.
Let's do something. She'll call me and she's like, I know you don't want to talk, but you listen. And I listen and it'll take my mind off things. I'm not saying you build a community of 150 people.
Yeah.
But go outside. You might not have something happening now.
It makes a very big difference. And even at times, randomly, you bump into someone, you just talk about something, you're like, this just made my day so different. Like even my whole month has just changed because one conversation.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people don't understand because I keep telling people I'm not making money from my podcast. But what I learn from people, you never put a price to it.
That part.
You can't. Like whatever, it's priceless. It's priceless. You come here, you talk about your experience. And I'm always telling like even now, younger people, even older people, who would ask me like, okay, how exactly are you able to achieve this? How are you able to... I'm like, go to the podcast. You want to be a doctor? There's a doctor who's been on the podcast.
Right?
You want to be a model. You're asking about votes.
The answers are all there.
Miss World, Miss Universe, they've all been there.
The answers are all
Laura's been there. Fast runners up and has never quit doing more and more and more. But you didn't achieve one goal and then you give up on everything.
Against you.
No, go see what people who've made it, what they've gone through. And people who are still like consistently like just climbing and trying to change their lives. The one difference is like they just don't give up.
That's the thing.
They just don't give up.
Because everyone is like, how do you do it? How are you so eloquent?
Yeah.
Because people used to think I went to private school. First, when I joined Ngara, I used to pretend I can't even speak English because I didn't want people to talk to me.
Yeah.
And then they're like, your English is so good. I thought you studied in an international school. I'm like, no, I read a lot of books and I just adapt.
Yeah.
Probably this is not my original accent, but I've been talking like this for too long. I forgot what I actually sound like.
It just becomes part of you.
Yeah. And they're like, how did you do this? Who do I talk to? How do you get here? I don't know. I've been doing the same thing every day, showing up as hard as I can, as consistently as I can. And eventually it's starting to make sense.
Yeah.
6 years later.
Yeah.
Do I think I deserve better at some point, some places? Maybe.
No, maybe you will. I see you in a different,
But you can't put yourself to a certain standard. And I have this group of friends I have, and they're like just starting out dating.
Yeah.
And they're like, me chalango patia 100,000. I'm like, but for what? You know?
Why would you need that? Oh, okay. Yeah, maybe you need it, but if we're just being practical, let's say maybe you're investing, you're in the future, and
you can get it. And
but if it's just so now there's another thing like I always do, because I think I interact with different people, right, all the time. Another question that I'm always throwing out there, I'm always asking people who like talking about money. I want money. I'm always like, okay, Sawa. So how much money would make you happy? How much money would make you happy?
Yeah.
So we start those conversations, and it's so shocking because there's one like who's not even my friend now, but I was just like, this is ridiculous. Because I asked them like, okay, so how much money per month would make you happy? So one goes to like 200 G's. I'm like, okay, that's actually decent because, not so many people would even make that, by the way. So I asked the friend, how much money? Just guess how much she said.
5 million.
She said 8 million per month.
Close. So you see?
Yes. And imagine, you just thought of the most ridiculous number, top it up with 3 million. So I asked her like, okay, Sarah, that's okay, because let's just think like you for a second.
Yeah.
Like, what would you need that money for?
Exactly.
She didn't even know why she needed that much money. And that shows you how far off people can be detached from like even reality. Because I'm like, what kind of job would you do?
Yes, that
to make, because the president doesn't. That's not his paycheck.
What skills do you have that are deserving of?
Let's not even go to skills first of all.
Because for me, that's how I gauge everything I want. I'm like, how much skill do I have? What do I feel like this skill is worth? So I've put in 6 years of work in media. So by the time I'm doing anything, this is how much I need. This is how much I'm spending on appearance. But in terms of delivery, how much time am I spending doing research or this? And I'll gauge it based on that because I've acquired a skill.
Yeah.
But sitting here telling you, I'd also like 8 million a month.
Yep.
But from where?
Yeah.
You've handled money.
Yeah,
you know how hard it is to make it.
What? I'm always telling people, by the way, and I always see, you can even tell someone who doesn't respect money when how they use it. And like, okay, this person has no idea.
Yeah.
This money has been given to them by someone. They have zero experience on how hard it is for anybody to make money. And that's why I've said, like, even there's some parents who've made a really good job on making their kids believe that they're not broke. Because I can just look at your parent, I'm like, no. I think they're just doing a good job to protect you. But in real 100%. Sense, if they broke it down to you, like how even they make their ends meet in a day, you'll chill out. You'll chill out on that.
And you know the thing about making money that people are like, I'll spend money. I'm not making money, but now that money is flowing consistently, I hate spending money. I hate buying clothes. I hate eating. I hate leaving my house. I hate going to work to make that money.
Yes.
Anytime money has to leave my hands, I'm pissed off. I don't care what it's for. I don't care if you paid me for a gig and I'm coming. I'm like, you guys can't come.
Because I used to do like food reviews, and back then we used to get paid to do that. Nowadays people do it for free. I do not know why, but that's just how people are doing it now. So I remember I did it for so long, and then when those contracts ended, I started buying food in restaurants. I was like, you know what? Now I'm a good chef. Now I'm a good chef. I can make steak, mashed potatoes. I can make nice meals. Because I was like, you spend so much. And that's why when I see people spend, like, no offense, of course. Somebody said, like, we spent 7 or 8 G's. I'm like, Jesus Christ. Like, but I'm always saying the money, it can always go somewhere else.
True.
There's no need for you to do that, especially if you like you're doing it every other weekend. Like, that's just money that you're wasting.
Exactly. And I'm like, the experience is always the same. You go out.
At some point, this food starts tasting the same. Because they all use the same cooking oil, right? Because in restaurants, they won't buy like your nice olive oil just because this custom amount. They all use this mass cooking oil that will be bought somewhere, ingredients, so that they can cut on cost and make their money.
The same guy in Marikiti you're getting your tomatoes from is where your big high-end restaurant is getting the tomatoes from, Same. And now it's even better when you cook at home because you know how much salt you like, how much chili you like.
Yes.
If you want to eat
your
with
seasoning,
My best friend likes to laugh at me because I eat like a beast. Me?
You like your meals?
I eat everything with my hands. Sometimes I go, I eat everything with my hands on the floor.
Yeah.
First usinipate nikiwa niko njaa. I suck the whole
That will be that one meme that we've been looking for.
That one. Because I'm hiding. But you see the value of money and then you start understanding why it's so hard. Like even as a babe, when you're thinking, mtoto nipatia 100,000, you best believe you'll work for it.
Yeah.
It's going to cost you a pretty penny. And I'm not against getting money from this. Get your bag, sis. Get your bag if you can, even better. Yeah. But please know you have to work for every single penny you get. It's going to cost you a pretty penny up here.
That's true. But also just think about something that's sustainable. Even like, let's say, yes, of course, maybe you're young. People are sliding in your DM, offering a lot of things. Understand, like, it's a certain period of time that will be like super active. And I think that's why it's so crazy because, and I'm always telling people, like, we've seen it so much. We've seen people like 10 years ago where they were. And then like just a few years later, like I promise you, like just when even you're young and vibrant, like just make the best out of it. True. Don't think like that's the one thing that you can always use to scale your life forever. It's there for a certain period, and
it works. Yeah. And it gets your bag, but you need to adapt. And the older you get, you might need to change your tactics maybe.
Yep.
Maybe decide to be a manager. So maybe learn a bit about some business education, how you can draft contracts or, represent these girls who are doing the same job.
Yeah.
If you're choosing this as your life, make it add value to you in the long term. It's not, I'm hot now, I'm the most interesting thing, and that's it.
I think that's the most unfortunate thing right now. A lot of people don't understand that. But if you want to see people who've stood like the test of time, look at your Caroline Mutoko. Look where she is. Look at Rubadiri. Like, they just chill, but they keep on moving and growing, moving and growing, moving and growing.
And those are like even the better, shape, better polish.
Oh, yeah.
If we're even talking, let's talk Kim Kardashian,
Yeah.
Despite the way she came into fame, and even though she does monetize her body, which is amazing, let's just get there.
Yeah.
She's doing other things. She's a business mogul. She's studying law. So maybe.
How many kids does she have?
Thanks. You know.
I keep telling people, like, even at times, like how we would be having a debate, right? And of course, it still comes back to women because, but I do have a lot of women around me, right? So, I would be having a debate and then someone's like, but Kim Kardashian is doing it, Rihanna is doing it. I'm like, okay, Sarah, first of all, let's slow down the conversation. You do not start a conversation or a debate comparing yourself to Kim Kardashian. She's a billionaire. Let's start with that. Her career, TV show, super mom with 4 kids. Husband is Kanye West. The dad represented O.J. Simpson, was a big shot lawyer way long time ago. Look at a circle of friends, Paris Hilton, everybody around her doing well. So let's not have this debate with you saying like Rihanna is doing it, Kim Kardashian. Let's say like, let's go back to local Kwanzaa. Let's start with local. Let's start with friends, family. Let's just be in touch with reality as we're having a conversation because we're talking about things that will affect you tomorrow.
Because what people try and ignore is, and I've seen this now that I'm the wiser, older woman.
Yeah.
Somehow people just automatically give you that title when you pass 25.
Yeah.
I'll take it. But it's, we detach ourselves from our immediate surrounding because we have so much trauma associated with it.
You don't even want to imagine by the...
I'll never end up like my mom. I'll never end up like... But your core values, your foundation in growing up is based on who your mother is.
Yeah.
So 9 times out of 10...
chances are very high.
You'll probably end up exactly where your mom is. Unless you're making the right decisions. And that starts with understanding what is happening around you. So the women in my life are like this. The men in my life are like this. So this is probably the skills or the knowledge I'm taking out there. I'll make decisions based on the information I have from these people. So why would you even imagine your life would be different?
No, I've had that discussion also at times with you start talking to someone, of course. People now have a lot of situations at home that they have to deal with. And, most cases you'll hear like, maybe I hate my dad, maybe I hate my mom. And then I'm like, let me just give you an example. Because like maybe now you're saying like, you can't feed yourself. You don't have extra money for this and that. I'm like, was your mom able to provide all these things for you and everything? And then I'm looking at them. I'm like, first of all, do you think you're smarter than your mom? Let's just start with that. Because I know maybe you're seeing her as like that old mother who doesn't have swag. She doesn't know what's happening and everything. Nini, I'm like, do you really think you're smarter than that woman who's been able to raise you with all this chaos that you have going on and making sure that you still wake up in the morning, you have shelter, you even have food when you say you don't like her.
Even if it's food you don't like.
Yeah.
It's still something.
It's still there. I'm telling her. And then the debate was really simple. I was like, just imagine, let's eliminate her in your life right now. She's not there. Tell me, and just picture yourself in the next 6 months, what will be able to come out of your life.
Yeah.
Shambles. And I'm like, that mom, whether you like her or you don't like her, please, at least the least you can do, just respect her. Respect her. Just leave her alone. Leave her alone. Don't say anything bad about her. Like she took care. You are an adult because she did what she had to do for you to be here.
Do you know how hard it is to keep a human alive? Look at me every day. I'm just playing around with, they're like, barabara sayama.
It's not easy.
It's not easy. And I understand that feeling of, oh my God, I hate my mom. Because there's a time like I just imposed beef between us.
I think most girls go through that. Because even I deal with that. So when you say you hate your mom, like, no, you can't say that.
Yeah.
Or just say that, but not in front of me. Because you can't do that.
Right? I used to say that and people would get so vexed. So I changed it and I was like, I love my mom, but I don't like her. She was, at that time I was just like, she's my mom, when you're going through. Yeah. And I'm like, I'll never like her as a person, but she's my mom. I definitely love and appreciate her.
Sure.
She's not my friend. I'm not going to talk to her. But now I regret ever even thinking that.
Even thinking like that.
So much time thinking I was fighting with my mom over what?
Why?
She gave back to me. Of course, she owns me.
Yeah.
She has every right to have done what she thought was necessary at the time, whether it was right or wrong.
And she's just looking.
And she's figuring out.
Your mom cannot just be that person who's waking up like she wants everything to go wrong in your life. I don't want her to succeed. I don't want her to grow into
Leo.
new. Yeah, imagine.
Leo, no.
What kind of
She-
evil? What
you
kind
know?
of evil mom does she have to be?
Yeah, a lot of stuff they
Yeah.
did, I probably would have done differently or
Yeah.
better. And that's the beauty of becoming who you are. You
Growing.
just fix the mistakes without having to pass blame and constantly
True.
be held down by this didn't go right for me, this is why I'm not doing better, or because I'm doing better, I can't stand for this.
Yeah.
You have patience because you've learned from mistakes. And that's just how I live my life now. Like I make mistakes all the time. I'm like, I feel bad for 10 seconds. I'm like,
But you have to keep
I
it
invest
moving.
on doing better.
Yeah,
I can't
be a
fix
better
that.
person.
Yeah, I need to be better.
And now another thing we definitely have to touch on now, like of course, like even work life now, because I know we've tiptoed around it.
Yeah.
But now let's go now to like now you getting into these different fields of work that you're consistently like also like just showing up for right now.
Yeah.
Because now you're doing both radio
I'm doing radio, TV, and I'm doing emceeing.
and emceeing.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about like the TV progression and also like now the new radio gig, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
So I
So
started-
getting to TV, I remember, if I'm not mistaken, you started with KTN Home.
Yes. No, Burudani TV.
Oh,
Yeah, BTV, which was like
the hell is that?
a sub branch of like KTN. It was like a Kiswahili station. It was very
As Swahili station.
Yeah, it was Sheng and
Is
was
it still there?
Swahili. I think so. I think so.
Like the, oh, you're like, I think so. I'm not even
I'm
sure.
not sure.
Uh-huh.
So I had a show called Uhondo Motomoto. I'd go to events and then I'd be like, hey, uku.
Oh, like interview
Yeah,
guys
and I'm
and
like,
stuff.
uku kunaendelea hivi, tuko na watu
yeah,
wanajifurahisha.
okay.
It was so bad because my Kiswahili is,
Yeah.
it's hit or mi
Because
Kiswahili
of
tu ya
course,
mtaa.
when
unajua.
bosses want now, like, give us Swahili Sanifu.
And they don't want sanifu, but they want it with a bit of English. So
Oh,
you have to
okay,
give
okay,
it
okay.
some excitement. I'm like, niko hapa, tuko deja vu, tumeka event ya nini, na inabamba. So kujina mimi mwone venye kunaendelea.
Yeah.
So we do interviews and then I got more shows. It was so overwhelming at first, but I was like, it's an opportunity. It's
Yeah.
a job. I'm not complaining. And that time I used to live in Katani. I used to suffer.
Where's
But
Katani?
it's fine. It's Syokimau. Then you go inside.
What?
Somewhere uko. Until
So you
get
have
the end
to,
of the road.
but were the shows daily?
Yes. At that time, it was like daily. I remember I used to show up in studio and then there's like this corridor. I just sleep there because
You have to rest.
yeah, I've
Kwanzaa.
done my morning show and then I have a show like at 10 p.m. I can't go back home and come back because it's like an hour, 30 minutes going.
Going home an hour.
Yeah. Traffic because it's, and then the distance between hapo na tuk-tuk ama boda or whatever. I'm just
And the
like,
border guy is like, hatujafika madam,
Imagine.
hatujafika.
and then you take makona barabara. So I just sleep in studio
Yeah.
and then go back to work the next day. Same thing. I'd leave work like
Back
at
to
3
back.
a.m. I'm back in the office at 9. And I was just happy I had a job.
An opportunity.
Exactly. And I'm like,
Opportunity.
and that's where the low self-esteem even heightened because I was like, these people know I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, just be the least amount of problems you can cause. That's
Yeah.
the best.
Or you
And
just
that's how,
focus.
yeah,
stay
it sort of
focused.
affected my whole personality. Because I'm like, if I don't fuck up at work and my boss doesn't have an issue with me, then I don't have an issue with anyone and the world can't talk about me. Because my biggest fear was like someone just pointing me and going like, we're choosing you today. For whatever reason, I don't want to be seen. So I do this for a while and then I express interest in going back to news. My boss laughs it off and then she's like, okay, because it's that time during COVID, we're not necessarily working. So I'm at an audition. So we come back and the makeup artist actually, Collins, we were friends. And when I joined the company, everyone was talking so much crap about him. So I never spoke to him because I don't believe in faking
Like,
energy.
hey, by there.
Let me just steer clear. I have nothing
Stay
good
away.
or bad to say about him, but I'm never going to be friends with him. I wish I knew better because now he's like one of my closest friends. And one time we were shooting a commercial shoot for work and I was paired with Yolanda and I was doing my makeup with Collins because Collins is my friend. I'm not speaking to Yolanda at the time.
Yeah.
And he's like, so I'm telling him, I'm like, hey, I'd love to go on radio because I just started doing podcasts like the one I did with my mom.
Yeah.
I was like, I like that because I get to express myself a bit more freely and be in control of the narrative so I can actually say the opinions I care about and believe in. So if someone asks me, why did you say this? I can back it up and say, this was my thought process. I was like, that's nice. I'd like, that would be nice for you. It's like, Yolanda, can you have her on your show?
Yeah.
She's like, yeah, she looks smart enough. Like, she can come on my show. I just don't like stupid girls.
Yeah.
So she's like, cool, come in Friday.
I know what she means. I know what she means.
She's like,
when a slightly older, mature lady says that, it's because she knows, like, the BS she
and my
has to deal
parents
with.
is so deceiving. I look very socialite bimbo. I love it.
No, not really.
Yeah.
I don't get that at all. That's the
But
thing.
it's because you know me.
No, but even without so many different interactions, there are people like I think coming from an era where we've come from, you can easily read someone.
You can read people.
Yeah, because at times, like, I'm always telling people, like, you didn't expect this person to, like, just are you guys sure? Like, I mean, come on.
Yeah. So Yolanda's like, come in studio on Friday at 12, and then I'll brief you on WhatsApp.
Yeah.
So I show up at 11. I'm never late. Like, even today when I was late, I felt so bad. It's because I was just held up with the cab thing.
Like, no, but at least you sent a message, like, almost immediately. Did. So I was like...
Yeah, so I'm never late because I hate that. I always like having the upper hand. Like, I don't want you talking
on time.
Like, I was here on time. Can't say nothing. I always have to be in charge.
Yeah.
So I was there on time. She's like, wow, I'm surprised. I thought you wouldn't show up. I'm like, why? But this is what I want to do.
Yeah.
So I do videos and then they are trending online. I'm not reposting because I shouldn't be working on Spice. My contract is for KTN.
Yeah.
I don't want conflict of interest.
Yeah.
I signed a contract for one job. That's what I'll do. I'm pursuing something. Yeah. If it grows on its own, perfect.
Well and good, yeah.
So Sound City puts out statement online and they're like, we're looking for hosts. I sort of just assumed it would be like the other stations before. And I was like, I can't do the rat race. I can't be showing up for things. And I'm like, wow, buy into this personality.
Yeah.
I'm tired of, playing clown and jester.
Yeah, true.
But I tried out for 2 radio stations beforehand. I actually got one. And then on the day of the contract, I misheard the time. So I came in late. And I told them, and then I told them I can only sign the contract after I've given notice for 1 month. Yeah. So when I was going to the office to discuss, and they were like, nope, we need people to join immediately. But these people are telling everyone, we didn't give Laura a contract because she was late. I was late, but I misunderstood the time. And the explanation they gave me as to why I couldn't sign my contract that day, because they're like, come in Monday and sign your contract, was because I couldn't join immediately.
Yeah, because nobody can do that by then. You're tied into other different situations with paperwork.
So that opportunity passed. I tried out again for the same station. They didn't call me back. And then Sound City came up and then I got the call back and I was like, wow. So I'm talking to Yolanda and I'm like, while I'm doing this process, I can come to your station. I need to focus on this first. Yeah. I go like every single day we're supposed to go. At some point, I'm just so frustrated because they're like my arch enemies. Like, you need to do a video for socials. I'm like, not this again.
Like, again.
Not this again. Begging. I'm begging.
Again. Yes. Validation.
So I'm in a cab. I'm going to Westlands. I'm on the phone with Yolanda. And I'm like, Yolanda, I can't pander to people. Yeah. I can't be panhandling on social media. It's as bad as me pay 10 bob.
Yeah.
It's not who I am.
Because you've done with so many different situations. And that's always
the way I want.
Yeah.
And then I've seen it with other people doing it. I'm like, this is cringe. I can't do this. She's like, Lotta, just see it through to the end. I go, I do the video. And here's the interesting bit. I never even promoted that video. It was my sister, my best friend, my friends I didn't even know who liked me. Yeah. Everyone was sharing it. And I was so overwhelmed. And I was like, I actually make impactful relationships.
People vouching for you. Yeah. They're like, okay, now she needs Nini. We want to see her.
Exactly. And that like drew me back in and I was like, maybe you should be a bit more aware and present with every interaction you have.
To understand.
Because it doesn't feel as shameful as I thought. It doesn't feel as embarrassing as I thought or humbling. Yeah. Because I think we're all afraid of being humbled. It felt so good. And not because I didn't have to send someone in their DM, please vote for me. Yeah. People know and have seen how hard I work and they're willing to do it even without being forced. Very hard worker, very. Very. And that was so good to feel like, I was like, even if I never get the job, I know people see what I'm doing and the right person will see it and will acknowledge it. Yeah. So 6 months passed, they've not called, they've not texted. And me, I'm also not asking because I don't beg.
Yeah. You're not doing it, not again.
So it's the new year. I'm signing my contract at KTN. I'm like, this is home. This is where it's at. I get a call and they're like, congratulations, welcome to Sound City. And I'm like, what? I'm like, what? Me? All right.
Relax.
Yeah, I can come on such and such date. Let's talk about it. Hang up that phone.
Like, yeah.
Ukwapi?
Yeah.
Went there to pige sherehe because I only hang out with my best friend.
Yeah, you have to celebrate though. That's a
like,
milestone, yeah.
Right? I just booked my first MC gig like on my own. And yeah, so that also just tied in like with the emceeing. I got my new contract. I got a raise. I'm like, wow, so many things are happening at the same time. God, I don't think I deserve this. Something is just about to fail. It's been 5 months now.
You know, at times when things happen, like, because you're already not even used to it, like just trauma of the past experiences.
Yeah. And since that, I'll say that was Feb, right?
Yeah.
It's just been higher and higher. Broker, but opportunities are getting bigger and bigger. The money. And like, I used to hear richer people tell me this, like, everyone is in debt. Everyone is always in debt, regardless of how you're spending.
It doesn't matter.
You're just moving around your money, but you'll always be in debt somewhere.
Yeah.
You need to borrow Paul to pay Peter, that way. And I'm learning that just because I don't have money in my pocket doesn't mean I'm poor. True. I've pangared all my finances. I've pangared for food. I've pangared for transport. I've pangared for emergencies. Yeah. It's not that I don't have money to go and sit somewhere and buy 15 beers.
True.
Or a bottle of champagne.
Yeah.
That's why I feel broke. But otherwise, I'm eating every day. I'm making it to work. I'm naoga na kula.
You're good.
I'm good.
You're good.
So now there's Sound City. And then here is another aspect I'm checking out is emceeing. And I'm like, someone will trust me with their brand to go and
it's already something, you know, you're already doing it for Nini. So, I mean.
But you forget, I don't want to be seen. And even once as an MC, because you get immediate
But you know why that's crazy? Because that's something that you still kind of do. No, but I'll give you a good analogy. Somebody said this. They said, if you're working for a company, right? If they tell you you're supposed to be here at 8 a.m. in the morning, we need you to be on that camera 8:30 in the morning. You will wake up and you'll be there. And this is somebody completely different asking you to do that. But when you tell yourself you're supposed to show up for yourself, wake up and do this for yourself, you will not do.
It will be 11.
Imagine.
By the time I leave my bed.
And that's what at times holds most people back. But from my perspective, I'll always talk about it. I've worked independently for such a long time. And I understand, like, even when you say, like, just waking up and showing up for yourself. Because I was the person who's like, either I'd be fired, and I'm good at my job.
Yeah.
I'd get fired from advertising agencies here and there. And I was just like, this makes no sense. Because I know I'm good at what I do. I'm good at art. I'm good at social media. How comes I keep just... And then I was like, you know what? Let me just try my thing slowly. Slowly. And even now, like, I'm just confident and okay just working.
And let me tell you, all of these interactions, and I think I was telling you about the pod.
Yeah.
You have a very personal take on the questions you ask.
Yeah.
You don't ask questions because this is what people would like to know. It's with the interaction I have with you, this is my question for you.
Yeah.
There's no one recipe for 10 people. I never have the same 10 questions for any musician I interview. Because I listen to the song, I'll pick up something from the song. There's a reason behind certain words. And that's how I like interactions. They're personalized. They're not generalized.
You just tell us now, the top 10 Nini. No. That's why when we were starting, I told you, like, first of all, slow down. We have time, We have time. Don't compress everything. Okay, I was here. I did this.
Diamond Platinum Zuchu.
No. Like, just relax. We still have time. Let me see how much time we have. We still have, I think we can do like another 20 minutes, but cool. I'll need like an extra memory card.
No worries.
So now there's Sound City gig. Sound City.
Yeah, I'm doing the Emceeing gig. And the thing about Emceeing is my friend Claudia Nasibwa is the one who actually like gave me the first push into Emceeing. She was supposed to host TMI podcast.
Oh, that's who used to host what?
Straight Up. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Claudia.
Yeah. And I also need her on the podcast as well.
Please do. Claudia, come.
Let
me tell you, she should come.
Okay, so Claudia, putting it out there, please, let's do this. Because even for her, I think she's one of those people I've seen growing. And I'm like,
she's such
this has to be
daredevil.
a very aggressive person. Because to get there, especially like, let's even say like the Kenyan market is has so much haters, first of all.
Have you seen how she's changed the game?
Yes.
And she and I looked at her and you know, she called me. I remember even with her initiative, we were leaving her place or something and going to work together.
Yeah.
And she was like, you know, Laura, I think I'll start a foundation. We're in a cab. And I'm like, okay, you're doing too much. But, you know, you can do it.
Yeah.
Next day, Claudia and Nasibwa Foundation, they're planning a trip to Samburu. They're doing this. I'll do this next month. I'm like, okay, I think you can. But she had the same thing I had.
Yeah.
And she was very, I can do it, but I don't want to.
That's it.
And I told her, when I told her, it just like rang back in my head. I was like, dummy.
Yeah.
I was like, you don't need to pretend like you're humble. You are humble.
Yeah.
But you're doing amazing things.
Yeah.
And they require you to acknowledge that you are amazing.
Yeah.
So stand tall and stand proud and be, I am Claudia Nasibwa, and do that. And she ran with it and she did so well. And my first gig was TMI podcast. And Claudia was like, hey, can you do TMI podcast?
The live sessions.
Yeah, the live session. Yeah. And I was like, I don't know, but I need money. It's talking. I can talk. I don't know what I'll do, but I'll figure it out when I get there. I do my research. I go there. I have a time. And I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
This is something. So I definitely, everything I've done, every opportunity I've had is never because I trusted in myself or I believed I could do it.
And I think that's what people like, I think a lot of people who don't understand, and also you need to understand the role that you're playing. Because when you're talking to people, you're explaining to them, you know, I never used to be like this. I never used to, because even like for me, podcasting wasn't like my thing. I would go out there, have fun, collect my cases, post pictures here and there. But me sitting down and talking to people, like even to now, there's some people, they're like, what? I remember this guy, but they're from way back. There's no way. But it's the same thing. I think when I invited Lydia on my podcast, and she was just telling me like, you know, I'm thinking about like starting a podcast. I'm like, why don't you start your podcast? She was like, you know, I'm not sure about this. And I was like, just start. Like, if you think about it, like there's really nothing that's stopping you from doing it. And when she started, like, look at where they are right now.
And let me tell you, I think also being, as a woman, and I'm just putting this out there, I know we like to think, I have no friends, I don't have people in my close circle. Yeah. It's always good to go into other places where you feel love. Yeah. And the TMI podcast is loved. It's loved because they strip you of shame. You know, as a woman, you're supposed to keep your sexuality a secret. And be ashamed.
They're going crazy because even now, like at times, I'm always looking at the topics. I'm like, yo, Lydia.
But are these things that are happening?
No, that's the thing. And as long as you're talking about things that, like, you know, affect every single person, it will connect.
True.
It will connect because it doesn't matter. Like, there's some people who are so shy and talking about all these things. So when you invite them tell them, like, yo, you have a home. It's not weird. You have a home.
And they're talking at me at some point. I'm like, wait.
Like,
what did she say?
Yes.
And I'm like, no. But if you look at the audience, it's so diverse. It's young women, older women, hijabis, babes with all manner of women. And you're like, we all try and stand out in our own different ways. And like, I'm that one. I'm unique. But
we're all more or less like
one ecosystem.
We're all humans and we all go through all the same struggles.
We bring something unique, but it's the uniqueness is supposed to bring us together, not to set us apart.
True. Now, hold on. So, we're talking about like just you putting yourself out there, but I was also talking about like understanding the role that you're playing in also like influencing other people. Because now, like I said, a lot of people now, both girls and boys just are giving up super fast before even like you just one tryout, it's not making out, giving up. Like, you know, I always have like different people who are like advising me into different industries that they can go to, but I'm always telling them like, if you tried doing it on your own, of course that's not for everyone because you'll be homeless for sure you'll be homeless. But if you know and understand the importance of just perseverance, because even for me, I'm always telling people, I think maybe they just see this part of me now online. But you remember, in fact, when we were just doing, everybody was broke.
With the I Kiss the Bandit t-shirt, I always wanted one, but I couldn't afford it.
No, you're getting one for free today. You're getting one for free. But
do you have the blue ones?
No.
The original blue ones?
No, no. But original blue ones, I'll still bring them back. I can send you those ones. Just give me a month.
Don't worry. I mean, anything.
Is that okay?
I just need thekissbandit merch.
Okay. I got you. But what I'm saying is like, if we go way back, like now, maybe 9-10 years ago, we were talking about it. Everybody now that's in a different position doing something different, now it makes sense because you see people who are in certain places, you're like, these are the guys who didn't give up. But then how many other people have faded away from that era?
And the worst part is you might never know what happened to them because they just disappeared.
They are not there
They're
anymore.
nowhere to be seen.
They're nowhere at all. But people who are always kind of trying to do something, and I think it's so. I wish guys would have like the kind of events that we used to have. They seemed bogus, but now you look back at them.
They were different. They were different.
You see any people now you just see who've grown. You're like, man, you remember guys, Calligraph Jones. Okay, let's go to people like even Lydia KM, Karen Nyamu. I remember like the mingle events, their blankets and everything, all those things. Your Hudas, all those different people. Like now you see how different people have grown. I don't even the list is endless, but people have grown. So Manasseh, I'm seeing him doing like amazing things.
Big shout out to Manasseh.
Shout outs to Manasseh, of course. I don't even know who else to say because
even BV. Do you know BV? BV Accurate.
Of course, that's the homie. Like now, see the kind of
Look at him.
Look at the concerts he's doing. Because now I'm like, but it just makes sense.
It does.
And that's why like now if we go back, we're talking about 8-9 years at least of consistent work. Your Kina Shaq.
Shaq.
Who else? Like even if you think about like there's so many people. Anybody that's now in a position 8 years ago, you remember what they were doing.
Yvonne Rida.
Yes.
They're all working towards something.
All of them like just growing in different opportunities. So understand, even if it doesn't happen now, just give it time.
I'm a big believer.
But you have to understand the importance of consistency.
Yeah. Consistency, because people don't call it consistency and you're like, I just show up. It's practice.
No, you have to actually put in the work.
Game day will come.
Yeah.
So the word consistency is just put in practice.
Yeah.
Do it, even if you're ill-equipped for it. Like in the industry, we like to pretend like we're also cookie cut and nice.
Yeah.
We describe other hosts.
Of course.
Tell you, I have my index one, Nikona cheesy. I have names for each and every person. I know what I feel like are their strong suits and what I can do better. But the opportunities are there for everyone.
Yeah.
There's something designated for you, especially you, that's just well enough for you.
No. I know what's happening outside. So the closer the mic will be, we'll eliminate that sound. So don't worry. You're good.
I'm so confused.
No. It's because I've just peeped outside and then I saw the water truck. I was like,
it's about that time.
It's about that time.
Yeah, and you're probably not going to be good at I'm not good at high energy. I'm seeing jumping.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean I can't work in entertainment anymore. I just find a different thing that works for me. And when I do the Strictly Soul event that I do, the R&B one, I curated that position because I saw, you have a host position.
Yeah.
Maybe she doesn't understand the Kenyan audience. Maybe I could do this. Yeah. And that's how I got her job.
Yeah.
A position that was non-existent to begin with.
But also another thing that I would want to ask you, and this is, of course, everybody's always talking about it. Like now, that's not something that you studied in school, right?
No.
But you put in your work and now you're able to do both radio and TV without going to an institution to learn.
Yeah.
Now.
I was dreading that question.
Now, people are coming out of Daystar, USIU, multimedia. First of all, multimedia, I don't know who is employing anyone from multimedia.
Where?
But like all of them, like literally everyone is just saying like, yo, they're only picking up celebrities. But what I was trying to tell them, because you'll give me like, that's your perspective. It's not now in any industry that you're going to, apart from like technicals, like being a pilot, surgeon, those courses that really need you to study. We all know entertainment just wants somebody who can wake up and deliver. So you have studied for 3-4 years. You have your diploma, you have your degree. or whether it's 5 years. I don't know how long it takes anyway, because I mean, a lot of people are wasting a lot of money, but that's none of my business because it's not my money. But you have people who are out here and putting themselves out. When opportunities like present themselves, they're out there practicing. And they're the people who are being picked and being given those jobs. So to those people who are like, no, it's unfair, we are not getting jobs, we are studying, we got our degrees, but we're still not being employed. But, somebody like Laura just, came from Miss World and they're favoring her. They're favoring her by just giving her that position.
Yeah.
What's your take just maybe on that? Because you know how many students are graduating every year. I see people with gowns. And then I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, I mean, it's heartbreaking, but, just tell me what you think about that.
I think
because you're the
a lot.
ops now. You're the ops. You're the ops. Yeah.
I am.
Because they're studying it.
But you see...
And you have both. First of all, on TV and radio. So you've taken jobs for 2 people. And emceeing as well. 3 jobs. And they can't get any.
One thing I know is they study communication. They don't study entertainment. Nobody teaches you how to entertain. So you know how to communicate. You know how to do it.
Yeah.
But it doesn't make it entertaining. And like with even the studies of mass communication and whatnot, they were really just focused on the way it was being done, or at least the way I know it, for the news desk. It's you have the skills that are meant to portray this, or to cover, or produce, or whatnot. That's what I get out of it.
Okay.
Because I
don't even know.
Because even with think about it this way, because I have like older siblings. They used to tell me about the time when KBC was the only channel.
Yeah.
Right? If KBC was the only channel, then you understand entertainment is something that's just been introduced recently.
Yeah. There's no formula.
There's no formula. So why are we mad that Laura is entertaining and she can jump around like an idiot and make something money out of it? This is an opportunity that was created out of nowhere, that was picked up by media houses that train for that that are meant to communicate.
True.
So for us, you can't teach entertainment. You could be studying mass communication because you really want to. You admire Victoria Rubadiri. You admire Lillian Muli. You admire Ashley on KTN.
Yeah.
Or maybe you even admire me, but it doesn't make it your stronghold. True. I admire psychologists, I admire lawyers, but in my life, I couldn't go to school for that long.
Yeah.
I can't do it. And with these things that require personality, a lot of times, it just needs a lot of acceptance of maybe this is not going to be it. Or even if I do work in the media industry, it should be in a different capacity. It's not that there's no opportunity for you. It just means that you are not the right fit for that opportunity.
So what advice would you have for them? And people who are still enrolling for journalism in any? Because I hear people say journalism and then I'm like...
But I'm not a journalist. I'm an entertainer.
No, you are a journalist.
I'm
Come on,
not.
stop playing. First of all, you know why? You know why? Because whatever you're doing, whether you'd call it entertainment and everything, if they needed to call somebody to come and pick up a role because somebody didn't show up for work, will you fit that role perfect?
Yeah.
You'll be able to do it. And you know why you'd be the most suitable person there? Because they've seen you show up every single day. They've seen you in front of a camera doing it every day. And that's why, like, even let's say now, if let's say BBC or CNN was looking for somebody to do something that's edgy and everything, you have all the qualifications, 100%. All the experience, and they would pick you over somebody with a degree because you can deliver.
I think when you say like advice I'd give them, I've seen this like at least with Standard is you have to start with what you're given. You have to build from what you have. So you have the degree, you've gone to a media house. I'm assuming maybe you've not been, because a lot of times I usually, because I work in a media house, right?
Yeah.
And I see all these people from universities who studied mass communication. I don't know the the details of what they study, but I always assume like if you're doing this, unless like you studied camera or whatnot, the idea is always to be in front of the camera. Because even when you're doing your projects with someone who's always in front of the camera, a lot of times you don't see them on the main TV screen. So where do they go? Those are usually the people acting behind the scenes, or your producers, your directors. And I know this can be demoralizing, especially like if you've been training to be, I'm going to be on the news desk. I'm going to be.
Everybody wants to be a superstar.
Everyone wants to be a superstar.
Yep.
Everyone wants to. But
the harsh reality is, that's how you should start your sentence. The harsh reality
is you're just going to have to watch those people doing it, do it, and see what works for you. You'll have to watch me do it over and over again and nitpick and be like, I don't think she's doing this right. Maybe if I get the opportunity, I could do this better.
Yeah.
I could add this. I always believe in any sort of friendship, even like me and you, and even like with our conversation earlier today, if it's not providing value, I'm not engaging.
Yeah.
I don't care what sort of friend you are, if you're my best friend. If you do not provide value, I do not want to engage. And value is not money.
Yeah.
With my best friend is, do you think like a normal human being? Can you have a rational conversation? Do you give me peace of mind? Are you interesting to listen to?
Yeah.
Are you working to better yourself? Yes, this is the kind of energy I need. Same with entertainment. I always say you should make it your identity to provide something that is not there, but it requires you to sit down quietly and watch people do it over and over again. And when the opportunity, look out for opportunities. Even the radio thing. It's been 6 years I've been talking about this. I'm finally on radio. It's been 3 months.
Yeah.
I'm working with Joy, who literally just left Campo and joined the station.
Who's Joy?
She's a co-host at Sound City.
She's the one I sent her DM and she hasn't responded.
Is it?
Hold on. What's her
Joy
name?
Ogwevi?
Joy? We're doing this on the podcast.
Oh my God.
So that you just say that you don't.
It's official. I'm a snitch. I'm the office snitch.
I just see. Because I always reach out to people and I'm always like, let's see, there's only one way to find out.
Oh my God. Is it? No, Joy, you say, no.
Yeah.
I tried.
You
Joy,
see superstars? Okay, Joy.
To make pattern.
Joy, you see? You've seen, right?
No, I know it's because she probably didn't see it.
Hey, okay. Hey.
I'll ask her about it.
I'm just saying, I see all my DMs. Listen, I see all my DMs. But just, any of them that, and I always like to tap in with people, like even when they're starting off, they see their energy online.
Yeah.
I always reach out to people, even like if it doesn't work out then, but I'm always like, I'll reach out to you and show you that, okay, whatever you're
There's
doing.
There's an opportunity here. If you feel like it, when you're ready, come through.
When you're ready. No, but I'm always like, I'd prefer to, it's even unfortunate I never got you on the podcast like early on.
No, it's cool.
Because
like I told you, I wasn't ready for a lot of those things. If you had called me, I would have been here spewing nonsense.
No, I know, but it always shows people growth. Because there's so many different people who've come and they came on earlier on and then now like after 2 or 3 years, things have changed and everything. How they think it has changed. So I'll just try and make sure it's an annual thing, like when I call you, right?
Well, definitely. We should keep this up because I'd also like to see how much you've done. Because the one thing about you is you'll take one of the most unusual projects.
Oh, yeah.
And you'll run with it and you'll make something out of it.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see what you're doing in a year or two.
Come on.
I'm excited.
Come on now. Come on now. You already know.
And for me, it's that. I love people who evolve, who adapt. It's not, I didn't get my papers, now I'm stuck. My sister is now in Germany. She works in tech. Yeah. She started out as a lifeguard. She was earning, I think, 30,000. She was miserable. Yeah. A few years later, she's doing tech. Position. She's in Germany. She's living well. She's planning on investing. And I'm looking at her and I'm like, wow. Because these are things I've never seen growing up. And I'm seeing my sister breaking generational curses. And I'm like, this is what it's about.
Yeah. Yeah.
You should be able to evolve. You should want to do better. You should want to elevate yourself, your mental state. And if you're not about that, and it's not that every time we're sitting, we're having conscious conversations.
No,
you can sit and we can talk about,
about so many other things, even nonsense. But at least the way you've said about adding value, it's so important because now you understand, like when you grow older, like there are bills to be paid. And you also have to understand, like our parents get older. They don't have the same energy and everything, and you'd want to spoil them.
Wow.
Don't surprise them because, even if it's on Mother's Day, just get them something.
Let me tell you, did I bring that bag? I don't have it.
No, yeah.
When I'm on my boda, I have this big bag that has this handle.
Yeah.
I usually put in my earphones and then I hold it and I imagine I'm in my car.
Hold on. What's your dream car? Now that we go, I always ask people this.
A Range Rover. I don't know which one, but I definitely know it's a Range Rover.
A nice Range Rover.
Actually, scratch that. I want a Suzuki Jimny.
Which one is that?
It's the cutest car I've ever seen.
Let's
a
see
Jimny.
Or do you know the spelling? Or
Jimny.
Jimny. cute car.
It's a cute car.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
That's my dream car.
Yeah. This is a nice car.
That's my dream car.
It's not far-fetched.
It's not.
It's not far-fetched. And I think that's crazy because also, like, I remember, and people, like, on the podcast have seen this. Remember when I was starting the podcast and I was always, like, vlogging, like, no. Listen, hold on. I was just vlogging, like, on the border. And I remember, like, I was talking about, like, on the podcast, there's a guest who came and I was always asking people this. So what's your dream car? And then now years later, I'm like I have that exact car, actually a better version. And I'm just like, but it's so important, even with your friends, talking about such things.
It is.
You know, like your friends telling you like, yo, by the way, you know, you can actually, but just pushing each other, like, and even just putting that in your head, it's so crazy because all those things actually,
they go a long way.
They just actually happen.
Your immediate environment will affect you so much.
Yeah.
And being mindful about that is probably the most important decision you'll make in your life.
Yeah.
Because once you leave your family, you create a whole new identity.
And like you said, like even just breaking generational curses and stuff, you know, now it becomes your place to introduce your family members to new things, new experiences. And also another thing, because you've mentioned about like your sister, and I also wanted to ask something you mentioned. Are you somebody who's gotten into investments, or that's something that's still new to you?
It's still very new to me, but I'm finding out. And for me, I was talking about it on the show, Juicy, and I started with what are the mistakes I made with my money first.
Yeah.
One, I didn't pay taxes on time, or I didn't file for nil whatever's.
Taxes, everyone is always trying to figure out a way of like paying less taxes.
Always.
Let's start with that, yeah.
So I'm
but
like,
not avoiding.
Not avoiding,
yeah.
So I'm like, let me first figure out where I've been going wrong with handling my money. So that's where I'm at. I'm correcting course. So now I know where I can pull some, drag some, shift like that. So I'm not yet there. And right now I'm just trying to fix the error of my ways, like getting out of CRB for a 3,000 bubble loan. Nanili and Anna. Now
I don't even know. I'm sure I have something there, but I don't even understand how it got there, because I think there's somebody who called me at some point. It's like, you know, you're on CRB because of CJ, and I was like, who, me? How? That doesn't make any sense. But I was just like, okay, we'll sort that out at some point.
Applied for that certificate. It's the rudest thing you'll ever get.
No.
This applicant is known for not paying debt. I'm like, well, calm down. Your language.
But I think also, like, just in terms of investments, things that I mentioned to people on the podcast, try learn about infrastructural bonds. That's good. The government will always give you a good deal. You're loaning your money to the government. They give you like a good interest return. Things like mutual funds. What else? Learn about crypto. It's something that's new and different to a lot of people, but just learn.
But it's picking up.
It's picking up, but I think the thing is, like, a lot of people are not paying attention to this, but like there's a very small fraction of Kenyans who are paying attention to crypto. But also understand, for it to be in the country, it's because it's been approved by the government of Kenya to be here and to be able to.
Yeah.
So they're still also trying to figure out and test the waters. But if you get into it early, it's the same thing. Anything, you're just trying to create like a habit.
Can I tell you something funny?
Yeah.
My best friend's mom when did she move to the States? I think 2015.
Yeah.
Had told me about Bitcoin. And she was like,
wait, which year?
2015. I think so. Yeah, because I think that's when she went to the States. And she's like, just, 5,000 put aside for your Bitcoin.
Do that
she
on
told
2015.
Me, yeah. And I was like, okay.
How rich is she now?
I don't even check.
Yeah.
I didn't even check. It's just like,
let me see the value of Bitcoin in 2015. That's crazy.
If I'm not wrong, it's 2015. Michelle, when did you go to the States?
15 value of Bitcoin. So, and that's crazy how investment works.
Yeah.
So in 2015, wait, hold on. Oh, this is now. What was the price of Bitcoin in the year 2015? That was and this came from a lady.
A mom, like her kids are all
Whose
grown
mom
up.
is this?
Michelle's mom, Michelle
Shit.
Kimani. Big shout out to you.
2015.
And she's like, just get your friends 5,000 each. We buy Bitcoin.
Hey,
What?
that's a super mom, first of all.
I'm like, money,
Whoever
I
you
can't
are,
see.
where you are, like that's such a futuristic person because the value of Bitcoin then was $430. In Kenya shillings, probably the dollar probably was below 100. But even
Yeah.
if we do like
Yeah.
with 100,
So she wanted
say-
to bring me into her group that was buying the coins. So she was like, you get your friends to like chuck 5,000 bob only, and then we buy collectively.
Hey,
I was like,
hey.
Talk to me
This
later.
has to be the saddest story that I've had on the podcast.
It is. I promise you.
Because now the value of one Bitcoin
I
is
even want to look.
8.6 million Kenya shillings.
Should have done it then.
And in 2015, there's nobody who would like, okay, even if you're at your lowest, changaing a bit, you'd still be able
I
to
had
manage
5Gs.
to. That's what I mean.
My friend had
That's what,
5Gs.
if you think about shoes, events, all those two things that
I
were still
had-
happening.
But I put it on an invisible coin.
Yeah.
Say something else. I don't understand.
God.
Imagine.
Okay, whose mom is this? Okay, I swear.
I should give her
Hey,
a call.
you need to call her by the way and just tell her by the way.
You know what? I should have listened.
No, or ask her about what she's doing now.
What she's doing now.
Yeah,
Yeah, she did
'cause-
tell me about pineapples in Malindi. But I was just like,
But you know what I'm saying is like, because any person whose mind was operating
yeah.
like that,
oh, I trust her
Then,
judgment.
like
Even
right
with
now-
the pineapples thing.
yeah.
it
But I'm
absolutely
saying,
works.
but that's what I'm saying. Like even
What
now,
is she up to?
What is she up to? Because that's somebody who was like always on top of their game.
Yeah.
Because pineapples, we're talking about back then.
Back then.
Now, of course, there's some people who've already picked
Yeah.
up, but back then.
But you know, it's never too late to start. Like if you have 8 million, buy yourself a
Come
Bitcoin,
on,
you know?
who's having 8 million like just staring and just lying around somewhere?
The guy who'll give that babe you asked how much she needs a month.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's true. It's just like 8 million. But you know, anyway, but what I think is like we can save anything else for part 2 because I know for us we can go on rambling
Absolutely.
forever. But I really respect what you have going on.
Thank you.
I've seen you grow and you've really turned into somebody that I didn't expect.
Me too.
Because you know, like, and especially why I'm saying that because for girls it's very sensitive. It's very, very sensitive. Like,
Oh, I've been that babe.
like, no, but like we say, like so many people from that era have faded away. They're not there anymore.
Damn.
And you know, there are some who we know their situations are not the best, and they're actually lost, even lost more now. So anybody who's just tried to keep it together, because it's not easy.
No.
It's not easy, and
It's
I think
not.
that's why when people are talking about mental health right now, it's very good to talk about it, especially like considering now when people are on antidepressants, constant therapy and everything. During that time, I don't think that like stressed or not, you had to wake up and because you won't eat. Who's paying for therapy kwanza back then?
And there was something about
Where's the money coming from?
There was just a lot of community of sorts.
There
you know?
was. Now
a
there
lot of
isn't.
community.
There
There's not.
isn't. Actually,
There's not
that's
much
crazy. There
community.
isn't.
Yeah.
Back then it was like, but that's what I'm saying. Like, you know, okay, I know we have a very big difference maybe in how generations think, different eras think. And that's why like I'm always even trying to tap in with younger people.
Yeah. Always.
It's like, okay, what's going on with you? Like I even have like, you know, the young OnlyFans girls. And I just talk to them because I'm like, I can't just rebuke them.
No, you can.
It's like, you're just a whole. No. It's like, okay, let me just understand where you're coming from. And even when you sit down with them, these are just normal people.
They are.
But they're just explaining to you, like, you know, I can make this much, I can make this much. So why should I go and then be cornered in someone's office? Maybe a boss will take advantage of me. Why not be in the house, be in control of? But then we also have to understand we will have kids maybe in future, and we have to understand this is what's opening up in so many other different things that maybe we can control and others won't be able to control. But we can't pretend that it's not happening.
That's the thing.
We can't
You know what?
Because where do you think these girls are making their money from?
And the thing is,
From
money
your
needs to be
your
made.
husband, from your husband.
Exactly. Who's paying for these OnlyFans accounts? There's someone.
Your husband.
It's not me.
So
It's
you
not
can't
you.
just say
Who
and
is it?
dismiss it.
Yeah.
Because it's those people who are paying for these
Yeah,
services.
yeah.
So you have to
There's-
understand.
yeah.
Just try and understand.
So
it.
you know, you start to understand like where's the disconnect.
Yes.
and what can be done.
What
and
can
like
be
for
done.
me, I'm a very big advocate. I've seen it, I've experienced it, I've lived it.
You've done OnlyFans?
No,
No, okay.
I've not done OnlyFans.
Yeah, so you have to need context there because
I've lived the experience of being an attractive girl who,
Yeah.
and still is,
yeah.
and people thinking you'll never amount to anything.
Yes.
And it's the same people, and I've interacted with so many people without even dropping names or doing what. It's the same people you trust to give us a better society that are taking advantage of young girls who are finding them green and have nothing
Of course.
to offer but their bodies, and they're taking advantage of that
Of
and
course.
changing their whole identities and the way they view themselves.
Yep.
And I'm not saying I'm a victim of that. I was actively a participant in that lifestyle. And to step back and look at myself and say, if you're the person who's in charge of us as a people, and this is how you treat me as a young girl at 19 or 20,
Yeah.
I have no faith in what you can do for us as a people.
No, yeah, that's true.
And these people are so out of touch from us and out of reach from even people like me who've been in the close proximity to them, that they don't see the effects of their actions.
They don't. But like the generation has changed like so
they've shaped and molded a mindset in people.
Yeah.
Because if accidentally, God forbid, I had a kid, and I'm not saying that growth doesn't happen, I'd pass the same mentality down. So you'd constantly know I'm just supposed to depend on people, and because I'm attractive, I get whatever I want, and life is like this. Yes, you have to compromise your morals and principles over and over and over and over.
Yeah.
And it's a mentality that sticks, and it goes even worse with the people who are not well educated because they learn from seeing.
Because even think about it this way. When we see maybe slightly younger girls who are out of control, shout outs to those people who are doing exciting things online. I don't know whether it's exciting to everyone, but you have like these young girls who are like crazy with clips leaking them every other week. But, we have these conversations, like maybe people can point fingers and everything, but who raised them?
Right?
Who raised them? Who raised them? Because you have to understand, there's just an innocent parent somewhere who thought they were doing something.
Yeah.
But, now if you sit down and talk to that girl, they'll tell you this is all I know. Yeah, this is,
100%.
and they give you like a proper breakdown of why they're doing everything. And then you're like, okay. Because, I don't see how any other way it would have gone. Because the other way it would have gone, it would have been even worse.
I think when you start to judge, it's because you're standing from a position of privilege.
Definitely.
One, even if you think you're smarter than them or you think they're stupid, it's privilege. You're probably better educated.
Yeah.
And even if not, you could never imagine doing that. And that in itself is the privilege.
Yeah.
And congratulations on yourself. But having that privilege means you need to be a bit more generous when you're giving out judgment. Keep it inside. When you're generous with everything, judgment, just hold a little bit back inside for yourself.
But be open to have a discussion.
Be open about, you can say your preferences, you can say your understanding of situations or your evaluations, but it doesn't make it the truth or what is supposed to be there. Just because it makes you uncomfortable doesn't make it a reality for them.
True.
At the moment, it's not making them uncomfortable. It's paying bills and it's feeding them.
But with that being said, still, I also just have to advise young girls, just like, I know some things feel like it's right now, but just get guidance from slightly older girls. I know maybe now you're at the place where, your DM is crazy.
Yeah.
But just ask slightly older girls who've been young and they're in entertainment, fashion, whether it's modeling and everything. Because I remember there's a time nudes, if a nude just leaked.
Scandal.
That was a newspaper discussion. People were talking. And now I'm tired of seeing nudes. I'm tired.
I'm tired.
I'm tired of seeing feasts, first of all. But I'm tired. I mean, it's I don't even know what's supposed to excite me anymore.
Dude, I've seen it all. You remember that video, 2 Girls, 1 Cup?
Yeah.
It gets worse.
We thought, remember back then, everyone was like, hey, 2 girls. Now. So I'm just saying, but just be mindful, but also understand you have a future to experience. But don't let what you're enjoying now compromise your future. Just think about it. I don't want to be like the guy who's Mazidon. No, because I've had my fun, but I've always controlled so many different things. And that's why now I can still be able to do what I'm doing without people pointing fingers. And I can still also tell people hey, you can still achieve this.
100%.
You can be able to put yourself in this position, this room, but it's just because there's something. I would have done sex tips if I wanted back then. But I didn't.
Oh, you pulled babes. Look at me.
Listen, I mean, I would have, but imagine if they were out right now.
Imagine.
What?
Yeah.
Like it would have, so now it's kind of like tricky, but also like you've said, the only disadvantage we have now, it's like so many different young girls, they're not aware of when people are taking advantage of them.
Oh, yeah.
Because they just think like, okay, it's fun, but no, you're being taken advantage of.
The idea is I'm taking charge of the narrative. I'm making my bank.
No.
I keep telling people, like, fine, maybe you've met some rich politician, because that's usually the dream.
That's always the goal.
That's the dream. And they're giving you, say, 200 Gs a month, 100 Gs a month, whatever it is you're getting. Some get more. I apologize.
And they give you a free apartment to live in.
They give you a free apartment.
Yeah.
That's what they want to part with. They're not doing what they can. And I'm not saying now you go for that person who lives in a 2,000 bob apartment. No.
Yeah.
But you can only scratch as far as you itch.
Yeah.
And until they finish their itching, they'll do what is needed to be done.
Yeah.
But they'll never go above and beyond. So to you, it might seem like a big deal.
Yeah.
But they're barely scratching the surface.
Nope.
They have so much. I keep telling babes, you're dealing with this person. They have so much money.
Yeah.
Take him for all he's got before you even do anything, because otherwise it's not worth it for your mental health.
Because like once you damage yourself here, it's so hard to do anything or accomplish anything else. Because even like maybe you're such a aggressive person, you had a bright future you're thinking about, but there's a thing, once you go through a certain experience, it changes you. You're not the same person.
And it's not that you can't be redeemed. It's doing the work backwards, because then you have personal inflicted shame.
Yep.
So you look at yourself differently. So how you present yourself to other people is just masked around shame.
Yeah.
It's just constantly, I have this ugly past that's so disgusting, I can't tell people about. I mean, that's the first thing I let go of, shame.
Imagine on Parents'
you
Day.
You saw me where? I was there.
But if you're on Parents' Day, it's not even about you. Let's say if you have a kid, Parents' Day, you stand in front of, and then like there's a dad or a mom who says like, okay, we can't let your mom talk here because Imagine. It's even maybe you can cushion it, but what about your kid?
Actions have consequences.
Your kid will suffer. Just because you just wanted to have a little bit of fun.
But for me, it's like you can't live a perfect life.
Yeah.
I like to reference the story in the Bible. Forgive me.
That's okay.
It's the story of Jonah. I don't read the Bible to go to church. I read the Bible because it's a historical book. I love to learn about history, and I love to read. So I read the Bible and I'm like, this sounds nice. I like to read other religious books, but I'm not really well versed with the context. So I use Jonah as my example. Your fish must swallow you.
Yeah.
If you read the actual story of Jonah, he went to where to hide from God. He went where he went. But eventually he went into the fish. And I always, can you imagine being inside a fish?
Yeah.
You've smelt a fish outside. Imagine being inside it.
Sushi.
And he went through that for 3 days.
Yeah.
And he was spat out where he was supposed to be.
Yeah.
So you'll do all these things. You think you're having fun. You will fuck up.
Yeah.
But for me, I always just pray that I don't fuck up too bad. I can't come back.
But you can't come back. Yeah, that's the thing.
Because I will fuck up.
Because I'm seeing things now that I don't think people will be able. Because I don't know what it will take to come back from that. And it's too wild. And I think also like another thing that I've noticed, and I'm always saying it like also on the podcast, it's so unfortunate because now it's even become harder even for slightly older girls to advise young girls. Because you can't tell them anything. What can you possibly tell a 20-year-old who's getting 100 or 200 Gs in her account?
First, I'm a loser because, like, you work a daily job. You commute.
Why are you telling me anything?
You don't wear threads that are imported. Like, do you drink champagne? No. Can't listen to that.
They're popping champagne on their birthdays.
That's not the lifestyle. And then they go online.
I do not want that.
The haters.
Yeah.
Wale wakishi kwa bedsitter. And I'm like, I'm just sharing my 2 cents. Maybe I shouldn't have.
Yeah.
But for me, I've experienced all manner. I remember we used to go out with my best friend, the one, we'd wash our hands with the Ace of Spades.
Yeah.
So that's Jakula man.
So then you guys did this?
There was no Dorime that time.
Yeah.
There was always just ballers at B Club. I'm just there. I'm even toying stains in between my nails with champagne. Hiyo time sijakula supper.
Yeah.
Sina bed.
Yeah.
Naishi kwa SQ.
Yeah.
Nakulanga
You can
Indomie na maji ya tap.
Yeah, you can barely just even
But I'm
survive.
the hottest thing outside there. My shortest skirt, drinking champagne on top of a table, doing all manner of things.
Yeah.
And I don't regret any of it. But I just wish I didn't have to go through all that.
But that's what I'm saying. I think why it's so hard for girls or like slightly older women to advise young girls? Because you were there. Could anyone tell you anything then?
It keeps pulling me back every time I'm outside. I'm like, maybe. Just a little bit.
I'm telling you, it's so hard
it's hard.
It's so funny because like, and I understand now because I think there's a time I used to like even say on the podcast, like earlier on when I was starting off, it's like, how comes slightly older women can't even tell like even the girls anything? Why are they always quiet? And then, now it hit me. I'm like, no, but they were young.
That used to be me.
So they know. And like even at times, it's called like tough love. And even like older lady would see like a young girl do something instead. Like even dating like a fucking drug dealer. And she'll just be quiet. She'll be like, she'll learn.
She will.
But I'm like, so you don't think you need to advise her? And then she's like, advise her with what? She's like, because she knows, but she knows.
Let me tell you, you've not had drug dealer money.
Exactly. She's like, what are you telling us, first of all?
It's fun. It's just notes. Me, I'm not saying I've done any drug dealer. I'm lying.
Yeah,
all
but
these are lies.
We're just saying, hypothetically, yeah.
It's just, you go hang out with your boyfriend, your pass is open, you open it in the morning, there's like a wad of cash.
Stacks of money.
And they're like,
stacks of money. What do you
see
need?
you later?
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah. What will you do? I'm just going home. That day, shopping for all my friends.
Yeah.
What do you need? What do you want?
Yeah.
What have you been imagining in your life? It's fun. It's really fun. But like I keep telling people.
Imagine if you were buying Bitcoin then.
Boy. And this was like when I was 20.
But I think, and that's crazy because also something that young girls need to understand is like, if you are only given a mind of a 26, 27-year-old for 2 days and then you're put in that situation, you'd be, you'd invest all that money, you'd make plans. But it's unfortunate because when it's happening to you then, you're not even
my best friend used to ask me that same question.
Yeah.
Because my best friend is the sister to that best friend you used to see me with.
Yeah.
And she used to ask me, it's like, you guys used to be around these people with all this money, but you guys did nothing.
Yeah.
And the one thing I've learned now is you have to be present for everything.
Yeah.
For that conversation about Bitcoin, I needed to be present to understand what the future was looking like for this coin. You understand? And a lot of times when you're in these scenarios or these situations, you're never sober.
Never.
You're never present.
It's fun. You're not paying
You're
attention.
inebriated. You've gotten money. You've already made plans with your drunk mind that your sober mind can't process. Because now your sober mind is dealing with the aftermath. It's like, shit, first of all, hangover. Supu. Naktualok. And then tutangaraji.
Yes. But that's what I'm always saying. Like,
you understand?
A girl's life is like a movie.
It is.
And I think but for guys, I'm always telling them, like, for guys, it's so unfortunate because, like, you see a life that a 20-year-old, 22, 23 is experiencing, and 19 to 23. A girl, you can never compare it to what a 19-year-old boy, 23-year-old boy is doing because you can't even, like, it can't be. It's not the same.
When I started to clean up my act, like just starting to be very present, the first person I felt sorry for was a guy.
Really?
It was dudes, and not because I want them.
Yeah, because you're just like, what?
I'm like, I have two brothers, right? So two big brothers. And then you start looking at, and then like when COVID happened, like life changed, life shifted. You see them starting families and trying to be very present. And me and my brother are very close. Me and my eldest brother were so close.
Yeah.
And you hear him talk to you as no longer like his small sister, but like a friend.
Yeah.
And you start to relate to, maybe guys do have it rough. Maybe wanting my guy to give me 8 million bob a month when it's just a random guy at the office who's like, can I take you out for coffee?
Imagine.
Maybe give him a listen,
Just give him a chance.
Because I've seen my brother hold down a home when he required to stand up and be the head, and his wife do the same for him when he can't.
Yeah.
And you see kind of the conflicts that happen in between, and you're like, they're still choosing to love each other throughout all of this and all of that. And you're like, maybe my partner is not that billionaire I'm eyeing.
Yeah.
It could be the person I'm avoiding having that conversation with.
Yeah.
Guys have it so rough because even with all the mistakes I made, I still made money.
Yeah.
I was in my bag.
Yeah.
I was fucking up, but I was rich.
Yes.
I was living large. I was traveling. I was eating sushi.
You're good.
I was eating pasta.
Good. Yeah.
I was in Mauritius. And I was fucking up.
True.
Dude, you're fucking up, but you're down and under.
Yo.
No one is taking you on a trip to be like,
Nope.
here's your fuck up, but with a beach view.
Nope.
There's none of that.
Yeah.
And I sympathize with them.
That's
I can't empathize.
Yeah.
But I do sympathize. And I try and understand that the standards I want to hold them to are unrealistic because I fuck up all the time.
Yeah.
I fail all the time. I cost 500 bob for my nails sometimes, and it's okay. And I'm like, I'll pick it up next month.
Yeah.
But when it comes to a guy, that shouldn't be the case. Maybe a little bit of room would be nice. And I'm not saying that, it's wrong not to be outraged about how some men treat women. As with everything, the exception is not the rule.
The exception is not the rule.
My father was, unless these court records, he was an amazing man.
Yeah.
He had his flaws. He didn't see through the family to the end. Okay.
Yeah.
But he was an amazing man. So I can't just be like, men are dogs, men are this.
Yeah, I can't
Some
say
of them are. I've experienced it.
Of course.
But even when they were, even with my ex, it took a lot for me to sit down and be like, maybe you played a part in all of this.
Yeah.
Because I should have, like you said, the first time I saw that, I should have left. But I was like, no.
I'll change him.
I'll change him.
I'll change him.
You know.
He likes me more than maybe those other babes who are calling.
Like, after me.
See, he's with me. See, he's always with me.
Uminiona. That's always the first argument. Uminiona.
Yeah.
Utapata nini huko nje?
Yeah, but that's life. That's life. No, we have to definitely save the rest for part 2. Because I think now this is one of the longest episodes I've done. But that's why I'm always saying anybody coming here, just think about when you start talking about life and how it can affect people who are listening, and just understand nothing is just coming out of the blues.
No.
And that's why I think even for young girls who are having opportunities, I want to have them on the podcast to just talk about it, because what they're experiencing, they're the exception. They're the exception. Because trust me, we talk about so many other bad job situations, people who are suffering out here.
Yep.
People who are suffering, and it's not easy. I don't know whether there's one thing that I shared with another podcast guest. Mm-hmm. Let me see if I can find it. So you just look at it and maybe read it for the viewers if it's there, and then we just now close up.
We wrap up because hapa tunapiga story.
I swear.
Catch up.
I swear. Let me see. If I have it, this is just one of. I don't know whether it's funny or it's sad, but it was both. And it was, and I keep telling people, just respect money when it's coming your way.
Yep.
Because it's not easy. Come on, where is it? Okay. So here it is. Let me just take a screenshot. So I just want you to read it out and tell me what you think about it. And then we can close up the podcast.
No worries.
Yeah.
Hi, Akundi. I have an issue. There is this school called Murinduko Josephs, which is in Kirinyaga County. I'm a teacher and joined in January with an agreed salary of 10,000 per month. In February, during payday, she paid 2K to every teacher and said she had no extra money to pay us despite us not doing any work that month. She later said if we wanted the full salary, we must participate in farm work at her various farms during the weekends. In the evenings during weekdays, the female teachers are the ones who clean the classes, and male teachers are assigned to harvest mogoka in her various farms. In March, she didn't pay us, claiming she would pay in April. In April, she said if we wanted to be paid, there would be no holiday. The whole of April, we have been planting in her farms and feeding pigs for 3 consecutive months with no money and have no means of transport to head back home in Nakuru.
Yeah, let's just leave it at that. Yeah, let's leave it at that. But that's what I'm saying. You need to understand what money means.
Mtu alianza February.
Yes.
Bado kuku. Anakulisha nguruwe.
And remember, out of the 10, they were given 2.
And told to do farm work.
Of course. hard farm work. Not at entries, entering data in the company. But just imagine this is the story and life of actual real people and what they're experiencing.
I get it.
You understand?
I get it.
Yeah. So I'm always trying to tell people, I think there's some situations that maybe happen around you and maybe you lose touch of reality. But if you just think about what other people are going through out here, it's not easy.
Yeah.
So if you're in a position where you can get your meal, bills are paid, someone is able, like your parents are able to actually make things slightly easy for
Easier
you.
for you.
Just, be patient and just enjoy that path. Enjoy the journey. There's nothing wrong with the journey.
Enjoying
The journey,
the journey
will make you appreciate once you start now receiving
The
different things.
blessings,
Yeah, the blessings coming your way. So now let's wrap it up. So now just tell the people where they can find you, anything else that you have going on, and maybe like just a parting shot for.
Facts.
Yeah.
You can catch me outside. I'm always out there. But you can catch me on all my socials. That is at Laura Mbatha. I think the name just pops up somewhere. I'm always up to something. And as a parting shot, I think give yourself some grace. You're not a complete fuck up and you're not a complete angel. Give yourself room to make mistakes, but just always do some self-checks. And it's so boring because you always have to be very rigid about it.
Yeah.
But your body will acclimatize and you like who you're becoming. Take things slowly. Nothing good ever comes in a rush. So take your time. Harness your skills. That you're doing, do it with passion, with everything. As long as it's putting something on your table, see it through to the finish. You never know what your eyes or your opportunities could end up being from that one thing that you probably are not even sure about.
Facts. So I wish you nothing but the best, Laura. You're doing a great job.
Thank you.
Just keep staying consistent. Of course, I wish you bump into a man who will change everything in your life.
Let me tell you something.
I know, don't give up on this thing called love yet. It's not easy for anyone right now.
Ladies, gentlemen.
Yeah. Throw applications.
Throw applications.
Oh, so both ladies and...
Ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, okay. Hey, we're saving that for part 2. The Thekisscapades podcast is your gateway to holistic growth and personal transformation. Together we'll unlock the secrets to living a life of health, wealth, love, and happiness. So make sure to tune in every week and join us as we explore the essence of what it means to truly thrive. And lastly, show us some love and support in our social media platforms from Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, basically all the social media platforms that support podcasting will definitely be there. Even with the short clips and reels, you can find us there. And lastly, don't be shy with feedback, suggestions, or any questions that you might have in regards to the episodes or our podcast. It's the Thekisscapades podcast. Goodbye.